All right.
Hello and welcome to the Destiny Community Podcast, DCP episode number 94. Where 94, yes. First off, the couple notes. One, Holtz can't make it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's too bad.
He's still in Tampa working the DCP booth at GuardianCon, guys.
If anybody sees him wandering around the convention center, could you tell him it's over?
Well, also, can you make sure he's okay? Like, give him some food, some drink. I'm a little worried about him. About
it was
that,
a little iffy on food when the convention was going on.
Yeah.
Never mind once it was over.
So if you see him and he's at the booth, help him out and also let him know the convention's over. Watts can't make it either because she decided to pursue a career in alligator wrestling from Tampa, because Tampa does that too. You get in there, you get the swamp ass. That's the first thing that you acquire.
The number one
swamp
step.
ass.
Yeah, swamp ass seeps into your body, and then you're like, I should wrestle alligators. Like, that's the natural
conclusion. Part of who you are.
Yeah. So she's pursuing a career.
My bottom is awfully wet. I should go wrestle something.
It's time to wrestle gators. Yeah.
Seems like a logical progression.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
That works.
Yeah. So
it's good to know where our hosts, our fellow co-hosts are.
Yep.
Stay safe, Watts. Good Lord.
Yeah, those alligators. Good God.
Fortunately,
I've seen her in the Crucible, though. I have every confidence in her. I
Yes.
think those alligators are fucked.
she's going to shade step an alligator and just be like, "What? All my health is back." Bam!
Oh man.
Well, fortunately, we found a stand-in for Watts and Patrick tonight.
Double duty.
Double duty.
It's a lot of pressure.
So
That's a lot to live up to.
there is you've got some big shoes to fill. So welcome, Moonvald, to this show tonight. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm told you guys are kind of a big deal.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are. I
don't know who told you that, but you should
Random.
definitely question their friendship and their advice to you.
Pope's bald head is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Okay.
Also, his
This is a big
ass.
deal.
Luscious cosplay.
Yeah, his ass is
His
a big
ass.
deal because it's getting a tattoo. So
Yeah, that's right.
So what's up with that, Pope? You didn't do any of the things that you're supposed to do at
man.
GuardianCon. Like, you didn't do the
Okay.
taco eating contest. You didn't get the
First of all,
tattoo.
First of all, let me explain. All right,
Uh-huh.
there is
Better
an
be good.
explanation for all of this. I can't defend Patrick, but I can definitely defend myself. All right, Patrick
Wow,
did not.
leaving
Let's
Patrick in the dust.
just point out that
No
Patrick
friendship
did
among
not
thieves.
get him his mullet. He did not get his mullet.
Mhm.
All right. So let's just start there, and then move on past that. Not even talk about
We'll
me.
talk. We've got words for
It's
Patrick.
never too late.
exactly. You're right.
Never
Moon.
too late for
It's
an ass
never too
tattoo.
late.
Or an ass tattoo. Yeah.
So here's what's going to happen.
Taco
So
eating
Or
contest
it's still
or an ass
fine.
tattoo or both.
so we Ash
The more
is
you know.
Ash is designing the tattoo, and so we just needed to give her the time to do it. So we weren't going to do it rushing it and do something permanent.
Why don't you want
attached
to rush
our
an ass
butts.
tattoo?
It's just it just doesn't seem like it's the right move. If you're going to put an ass tattoo, at least take the time to do it. So Ash is designing one. We're excited about that. We'll definitely document it and put it out there. But that's getting done. There's no way Patrick's going to avoid that. And
Of course.
So second is the GuardianCon security detail was like amazing. They would not let anything through. Bottled water.
They saw
nothing.
my Starbucks and they were like, "Get,
Yeah, I mean,
you got
Yeah, I watched that
12-hour
happen.
tour that
Somebody
was
with like
our
a full
Starbucks run.
vintage just coffee.
Yeah,
Nope.
it was ridiculous. They
Not allowed.
they did not allow anything in, and we tried to sneak it in the back. We had it all set up where there was that clandestine mission to bring it up through the loading docks, and they stopped them. So there was.
So I'm pretty sure that CC actually got this approved by
He did.
security.
He did. He got it approved by Kevin, and then Kevin came at the 11th hour and told him that security was not going to allow it to happen.
what?
So
That's I don't know about that. I
This
walked
is a
in the
fishy
back.
story right here.
We took a long walk around to go into the back to get coffee into the building, and that worked out.
sure,
It's pretty
all I'm
extreme
saying is
measures
that
for coffee.
I put
Yeah,
3
exactly.
people on it.
So I think
Worth it.
tacos could have got in.
I put 3 of our best people on it, and they were not able to make it happen.
Which 3?
Yeah, can you name those people?
You know what? We don't go naming names around here.
Because you haven't made them up yet.
Imaginary or don't exist. Didn't happen.
Look, all we know is that there is taco eating gonna happen at a future time. There's tattoos gonna happen at a future time. But by Saturday, by the time we go live for the side quest, there better be a freaking mullet. There better be a mullet. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
I've never heard a more piss poor excuse than there wasn't time to get a mullet. How long does it take to get a mullet?
Yeah, it's not like you're going to some fancy shop and be like, I need the best mullet possible. I need who's the master mullet?
Don't you want the best mullet possible?
I think
What
it's
is
better.
that consist of?
I think it's better the more like crazy, like you done, like that type of thing.
Pretty much it.
If he doesn't have it, if he doesn't have it ready, I'm gonna send Dado and Triple over to his house during the podcast on Saturday.
Let's set that up.
I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna set it up. They're gonna walk in during the
podcast with a
shave
razor in hand.
Absolutely. So if he doesn't get it done, I promise you this: we will have a mullet by Saturday. So if you guys are, you guys remember, we're gonna be starting our live show for the Side Quest podcast every Saturday at 1:00.
Yep,
That's the one where we don't talk about Destiny unless we talk about Destiny.
That's right.
sounds about right.
It's not mandatory.
Yeah.
Not mandatory.
Every once in a while, something happens between Thursday and Saturday.
Right?
Yeah.
Like getting Jason Schreier on the podcast.
That's right. That was cool. Having him on the show. Moon, we had Jason Schreier on the podcast the week of GuardianCon. And man, that guy has got a lot of insight into the video game industry. It was really cool to see Briar totally geek out.
I was geeking out
I
too.
did that.
Adorable.
He
Yeah.
fanned out hardcore. He fanboyed hardcore.
I'm
It was
not
cool,
gonna lie. I listened to the book
I love
like
it.
2 times in a row before the podcast, just so I could get ready for the podcast.
You did a really good job with the interview.
I really enjoyed having him on. I'm really looking forward to having Moon on though, because you know what this is for me is like it's a connection to our past, but also it's a look at the future of Planet Destiny. Because I gotta tell you, Moon, when the tweet went out that Planet Destiny was shutting down, I was really upset about it. Even though I'm no longer associated with Planet Destiny, it was part of where I came from and
Roots.
Roots, man, roots. And to see you take that mantle and run with it has been very, very good to see. Like, in the podcast is going again, the YouTube videos are coming again. Like, it's been very. Can you talk about your journey? Like, how did that happen? Like, what was?
Oh my God, it's a mess. To talk about it. So I started working with Planet Destiny September of last year. Thanks to one of my coworkers, Nem. You know Nem.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And I mentioned to him that, I want to be part of something bigger. I want to do something for the community. So he brought me in. He was able to get me on with the team. And then months passed, and obviously D2 was in kind of a lull. So our lead manager at the time, Ryan, had decided that he needed to move on. And that kind of left us without that role of management. And we just sat stagnant for a few weeks. And I just kind of didn't want to sit there and stand for it. So I bugged the appropriate people. And here I
Because
am.
the rumor had it that at one point they were actually selling they had entertaining offers to possibly sell it, and it was I was with Briar on that. I was sort of, it was sad to see it go, because I mean I think we put a lot of time and energy, and we have great fond memories of it, and it's great to see that you are taking up the mantle and doing some really cool stuff with it. Can you talk about some of the projects that you guys are working on over there at Planet Destiny?
Yeah. So right now, immediately, we're working with a developer of a tabletop RPG that is based around Destiny.
Ooh,
cool.
Her name is there's one person like kind of running this whole circus. Her name is Kitty. She was actually at GuardianCon. But yeah, she's making this whole Dungeons and Dragons type thing. and we're helping her showcase that and advertise it and kind of show people what that's about. That's
really cool.
a big project that we're working
Nice.
on right now. And we're going to be trying to stream like a campaign through our Twitch. So we're going to see how that goes for sure. But
Cool.
yeah, that's what we're currently doing. Yeah.
I like the direction you guys are taking with it feels like the content creators you have on right now are really community focused. They're I like the approach. It was great having you guys at our GuardianCon booth and seeing fans of Planet Destiny and some of our fans come and like mix the communities and just seemed like a natural fit, and really appreciate you guys coming and sharing that space with us.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you extending that offer to me too, because we wouldn't have had any presence really other than just walking around the floor.
Well, I mean, think about it. You had just been standing in the middle of the floor and then had like throngs of people just like, you need that separation, right? You need to have security at that point, right? Then you would have had to spend money on set of a booth. You would have been spending it on security to keep them back, and then say, look, we need a line formed this way, right?
Oh yeah.
It's good. No, so so obviously you've been following along with the news of Destiny. Did you know that we've got a new expansion called Forsaken coming out?
I heard something about that. Yeah, I did.
It was great to see. Like, so Moon was at GuardianCon, and I remember we were standing there when they let they opened up and they let the so they have the VIP entrance, and then they have the weekend pass entrance an hour later, and it was really cool to see like the rush of people, because our booth was front and center, right? There's the big doors, and you have to pass our booth to get to behind us, where you would have to pass our booth and like 3 other game booths before you get to Gambit.
Hefty. Did you get you got film of the actual like rush of people coming?
Yes, that's coming in a vlog real soon.
Did you upload that vlog yet?
Nope. Memes is
look forward to Tefty's
process.
YouTube channel then for that.
Yeah, she's in the process of editing right now.
It was crazy to see it's really great to see people rush in to play Gambit. What'd you think of Gambit? And did you get a chance to play it?
I unfortunately did not get a chance to play it. I'm not about standing on a concrete floor for 5 hours and waiting in line.
It's understandable.
But it was really cool, like you said, to watch people run in. I actually stood next to Cosmo as he held his phone up over the crowd, filming the stampede of people. It was crazy to watch.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah,
it was great to see the reception of it. Did we got a chance to see Gambit played up on the main stage, which was really cool. And I felt like Bungie really did an effort to be involved with the folks that were there. Did you have any? What was your favorite part of GuardianCon for you or the crew?
The actual convention itself, or just the experience entirely?
In the experience entirely, yeah.
I spent a lot of time with the Crucible Radio crew. And
why?
Because I love those boys.
Oh, okay,
I am ride or die.
Sure, got it. Sure.
For all of them.
Got it.
So it was really cool to sit in at their Airbnb and watch them record their live show with all their wives and girlfriends and stuff. But just kind of having that like connection and closeness with people you've known for such a long time.
Sure. And
being surrounded by people who you give a shit about, right? In any capacity is really cool. So that was probably my favorite part of the whole convention.
Yeah, I saw you. I think you tweeted out a photo of you sitting on the couch, and it seemed like a really comfortable environment. Like it was probably a very unique experience, because I don't think that a lot of people, spouses and get to see that interaction or be in that space when you're recording. It really looked like something that was fun. What was it? Just a recap of what was going on at GuardianCon, or what was the topic of their podcast that week?
They kind of played a newlywed game. Yeah, so they set that up so they would ask, questions and things like that. It was basically the same kind of function. So that was really neat to watch. And they did talk a little bit about GuardianCon and stuff like that. So
cool.
Well, I'm gonna have to check that out. I really like the Crucible Radio podcast, and like their shows are awesome. If you get in, I really appreciated their interviews of Nusk and that whole series of interviews where they did weapon designs and taking a look at the sandbox. I really thought that if you haven't listened to those podcasts or Crucible Radio, that's a good introduction to them and what they're capable of. But yeah, it's that show, I don't think it was recorded live. It was pre-recorded and then edited, but it's a great listen to. It really gives you an understanding of what's going to be coming up in Forsaken.
Mm-hmm.
So, Moon, now that you're at the helm of Planet Destiny, like what are your future plans for the website and for the YouTube channel? Like what are you guys focusing on moving forward?
I'm really focused on trying to connect with the community as much as possible. Because Planet Destiny has always been a resource for information about the game, and I still do want to maintain that. But I also kind of want to shine a light on the community and more creative endeavors that Guardians everywhere trying to focus on. So I want to do more interviews with artists. I would like to do more projects, again, where I'm working with this girl who's making the tabletop thing, just stuff like that, and because I think that's really where the heart and soul of the community is. So that's very, very important to me personally, and I know it's really important to a lot of people.
Who's your favorite content creator for Planet Destiny?
For Planet Destiny, who's my favorite? I love them all.
Got to pick
They're all like my
favorites, huh?
children.
Nope, you gotta pick a favorite.
No,
Yeah, I can't.
Actually,
I
how
just
many
can't.
people are doing content for Planet Destiny right now?
About 13 right now.
13, nice.
15 if you count people that just kind of help here and there, but about 13.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, it seems like a really fun crew. I see you guys interacting with each other. Who all was at GuardianCon with you?
It was the Black Link, Dan Finity, Mega Megwitch, and myself.
Awesome.
And unfortunately, Nem couldn't make it, but he's the other kind of figurehead of the PD team. We're really sad that we couldn't have him there. Nem. Next year. Yeah.
Next year.
I get to play with Nem somewhat frequently. I really like him. He's a really nice guy.
Oh yeah, he talks about you. He loves you too. So much.
That's
Well,
awesome.
not everybody makes great decisions, I guess.
What are you thinking about like this week, you guys, on as far as the TWAB? Is it a THWAB or a TWAB? Did you guys get a chance
Just
to?
I think it's a thwob for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because
So,
like
Moon, if it's not a great, TWAB,
Then it's a thwob.
It's thwobbing. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
we're left wanting more. And
Does it get
Or-
any bonus points for having the patch notes in it? Even though the patch notes officially came out on Tuesday, they're linked in this article, and the
It
patch notes
does.
are pretty damn good
here's the
for
thing:
update 1.2.3.
the TWAB or the thwob is defined within a 24-hour period. Anything before or after is
Oh, my.
It's like it's
a very good point.
It's like Twitch news. Twitch news
Nice.
is hot for the first 24 hours. Beyond that, it's like it's old news. Yeah, the patch is out.
Old news.
We got prestige
It's
raids going
fast.
on. Yeah.
It's a good point. And I was leaning TWAB-ish, but based on Tefty's definition there, it's TWAB.
Yeah. It's 3 days after the patch notes.
Tragic.
Yeah.
You guys are tough, man. You guys are tough.
It's not
Tough
me,
customers
man.
To satisfy.
It's the pulse of the community. That's how it is.
We got to learn who the world's first were for both prestige raid layers, Eater of Worlds, and for Spire of the Stars. Nothing there.
I mean, are they really world's first?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I would say.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
No, technically they are. I mean, they're the first people to do that
Right.
that encounter with those modifiers.
You guys talked about this on the last podcast, and you were like, well, it's not really a world's first because they're not really, there's no new mechanic, right?
Okay, so technically it's a world first, but is the it's not as exciting when there's no new
So
mechanics.
this world's first, however
Yeah.
you want, but they did do it first.
Yeah.
All
Technically,
right.
they are.
Technically. Okay, so technically,
Technicalities.
let's go on technicalities then. So that
Yeah.
doesn't make it a TWAB. I'm sorry. But we
Not really.
did get we did get some. Did you guys get a chance to do it? The Prestige?
Not yet.
I have not. No.
I've been taking care of I don't want to get to the end of the week and be like, oh no, I got a bunch of tokens I have to get. So I'm knocking that out of the way.
I'm still hungover from Saturday.
You did drink a lot. I came up and I was like, Briar, how many beers is that? You're like, well, this is one more than I already had.
It's hard to count, really.
When it's just on the wall and it's flowing and I'm paying by the ounce, well, who's counting, right?
Yeah, I was paying by the ounce, but my bar bill was only like $35.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So
there was a lot of people bringing beers up to Briar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept getting fed gin and tonics.
Oh,
Bones' girlfriend, actually. She kept coming up to me with, Bones doesn't want this. Do you want it? And I was like, yes.
Bones is refusing a gin and tonic?
you think she was trying to get you drunk?
Maybe a little bit.
For a PD?
I was kind of ornery at the beginning of the night, so I think she was trying to get me a little bit,
loosen up a
She was
little.
trying to get
Loosened up,
exclusive
yeah.
out of Plan Destiny, right?
Oh yeah.
I gotta say, this year's GuardianCon, while the event I think had some issues, like real hard to deal with issues, I gotta say it was so great meeting everybody. The meetup on Saturday night was world class. Like it was just so much fun.
So cool.
Yep.
Hanging out with everybody. Like, we got to hang out with the guys who did the shoutcasting for the PvP tournament. We got to hang out with just a ton of community members, put names to faces, hang out with people that we hung out with last year. There's so many new faces. Like it was, oh man, Saturday night was like highlight of the year.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. It worked out really great. Was very pleased. Last year we kind of had like one section of that upper area. This year we had the whole top area. After one party finally left, we kept eyeballing, being like, "Get out of here! You're supposed to be out by 9. Get out of here!"
We forced them out.
Yeah. And then that bar tap thing. When I called the place, I didn't think that was going to be a part of it. I didn't realize you could actually get your own card. And everybody would just be able to drink on demand drinks like that.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the way it worked was you gave them a credit card so that you started a bar tab, and they handed you like a little a magnetic card like you used to open up a hotel room, and then you walked up to the bar. The bar was front facing. You walked up to the bar, you touched your card to the thing, and you just reached over to the tap and poured your own beer.
Yep,
it was brilliant.
It was brilliant,
dangerous,
right?
is what that is.
You never had to wait for a bartender to pour you a beer. Nope. You just walked up and poured whatever you wanted. It was really cool.
Pretty soon you lost track. Lost track of how many you drank, didn't you, Briar?
And you could walk up. You could walk up with a partner and split a beer. It's just poured a certain amount out, and you just
I noticed that Tefty pulled a pro move too. Right when he got there, he sat down. He ate.
Yes.
Oh,
that was pro move right there.
I was hungry.
I was not that smart.
I was not either. Moon.
Yeah.
I was not.
So let's talk a little bit about GuardianCon from the beginning. What when we arrived and setting up the booth.
It was hot.
I think it was really. It was hot.
It was hot.
It was sticky.
It was hot.
It was 8 a.m.
The weather I described as morning breath.
Yeah, it was 8 a.m. and I was
it's like you go outside and you're swimming.
Yeah, exactly. I was already sweating. Memes was like, this isn't so bad. And I was like, babe, it's 8 a.m. We haven't even hit noon. Tampa's beautiful, by the way.
We got there.
Gorgeous place.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Ybor at all? Is it called Ybor?
Ybor. I was staying in Ybor, yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like this little kind of, I don't know, like a Main Street type of place with lots of bars and restaurants and stuff like that. A real kind of like a walking kind of social experience, right? There was a meetup down there. I can't remember whose meetup that was at Wings restaurant. I think it was Buffalo Wild.
Wasn't that a Rezo type of meetup?
Was it Rezo? No, Rezo was down the street. I went there with Rezo, but I don't think that was their meetup. I think we just showed up. But they had
the meetup. Yeah,
they had indoor. What do you call it with the sandbags? You throw them into the hole in the board.
Bean toss, bag toss.
Bag toss. Yeah, something like that. Indoor. That was pretty cool.
Hey, cornhole.
Yeah. That was a really fun place to be. And then Tampa itself was beautiful. I mean, there's plenty of transportation available. It was hot though. It was real hot.
We got we rented a car, and I splurged on like an SUV, a nice SUV, and I swear to God that thing was the best. Its air conditioner pumped out like the second I turned it in, I just fired up the air conditioner. And having my baby and family there, having a car was really awesome. We got to visit some family there, but also delivering. We went and picked up all the stuff and brought it over to the convention hall, and it was nicer. It was, I don't know if bigger than last year, but definitely nicer space looking.
The
outside.
actual convention center
was located.
very nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you showed up to wait in line, like last year, you showed up and you waited in the sun, right? It's like you were out in the hot sun. This year, you came inside, and they kind of had the queue for, like, you had to check through security outside, but once you got in through security, you were kind of like just waiting inside in the air conditioning.
Yep.
Until they opened the door.
I think the lines were handled much better this year.
Yeah.
People came in a lot less like, exhausted or like heat.
Burnt from the heat.
And as soon as you walked in the doors, you saw our booth.
That's right, man. Mm-hmm.
It was awesome. We saw like every person walk in, and when we set up, we had
well, you did. Me and Tefty were getting coffee.
Yeah. We took a journey.
Well,
stepped out, went to the Marriott, one of the places, and then was like, cool, we got coffee. And to get back in, they were like, no.
What was it? It was a 3-minute walk to go get coffee, and about a 45-minute walk to get
45 minutes to an hour. Yeah, Cece was with us, and he was like, "I am dead, guys, from walking everywhere. Like this was a bad idea. Coffee was a mistake."
On Friday morning, the first day of the conference, before the doors opened.
Yeah, because
Cece's like, "I'm checking out."
Yeah, by 11 a.m. Yeah, the place, Tampa is essentially an oven, just sweltering.
No one's outside.
No
a
one's
very wet oven.
A wet oven filled with alligators.
It's no joke, dude. Like, I'm
from
the Northwest, and being in that heat, it's like being on another planet.
It is, definitely.
Unfun.
I never thought I would feel my eyeballs moist and slippery, like sweating. But it literally felt like
eyeballs,
like sweating, like heat, actual perspiration from my eyeballs. It was crazy.
Eyeball sweat.
But eyeball sweat. That's how I defined it. You tried not to blink there, and it was just
funny.
Like,
there was a bar like across the street from the convention center. I don't know if you guys do this. It was pretty key though. The second day of the convention, the sale. That's what it was called. They installed like fans that had like mist blowers on them. It's like they saw these like people, non-Tampa people, like just sweating their asses off. They're like, somebody's gonna die in this bar. We got to do something.
Briar, how many times do you sneak over for a beer over there during the convention?
I think only twice.
Just twice?
Only twice.
Yeah,
I think only twice. I went over there on Friday, and I went over there on Saturday. The Saturday one was a little longer.
Yeah, there was a line.
We had a break. No, we had a break between, I think it was like 12:30 and 3:30 when our podcast started. And I said, let's go over for a beer, and one turned into 4, and then I was like, oh my God, it's 3:00. I got to go to a podcast.
You were like, it's beer o'clock. Be right back. And then you're almost late. Got it.
I wondered how you were ready for that podcast.
On Friday. What's that?
You were definitely ready for that podcast.
I was ready. On Friday, there was no food available. Like, we went the entire day without food. Like, there was indoors in the convention center, there was 2 possible sources of food, right? There's the VIP lounge that apparently had food, but I never saw it because apparently it got eaten.
Bananas, shit. I don't know.
Yeah, they had like some sort of meatball thing that showed up at one point. I couldn't have it, unfortunately.
And then there was the like concession stand, which had a 2-hour line. Right. And like, I'm here to meet people and to like hang out. I'm not going to stand in a 2-hour line. Like, when the goal is to like be at the booth,
and you couldn't bring any food in, so I tried to order a pizza for everybody to have it delivered, so that our booth, the people that were working in the booth with us, Holly Mod and Zeptil and Mighty Snipes, who spent the entire weekend working that booth. Man, it was crazy, but I couldn't buy them food. I couldn't bring in food for them. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Why didn't you consider
the situation
tacos?
improved on Saturday.
Why didn't you try to get tacos? Why wasn't that the first thing that you thought about, huh?
I don't know.
This sounds fishy.
It's gonna happen.
It's not my go-to thing.
Sounds fishy, man.
Fish tacos. Did you have that for dinner?
I did. I had fish tacos. That
can't be
place
saying
was
that's not your
amazing.
thing.
What was that place? What was that
That
place?
was called. Okay, so
Dats.
after the convention, we went to Datz's Deli, right? DATZ, and this is one of those places that you'd see on like Man versus Food or like some like
Yes.
crazy ass like reality like food television show. Where I went there on Thursday night as well, and on Thursday night I ordered a burger that I thought was just a jalapeno like bun with a burger, but what I didn't read the whole thing. I was more concerned about what beer I was ordering. It was actually a mac and cheese with jalapenos mixed in, fried like wafer, like puck,
Like a
Pancake.
like a patty.
yeah, a patty. That was the bun on each side of this burger. So it was
What?
jalapeno mac and cheese fried into like a bread shaped puck. Puck is the wrong word because it makes it sound not delicious
Like
because
a
it was delicious.
ciabatta?
Sure, it was definitely mac
Okay.
and cheese.
Mac and cheese
That sounds
infused ciabatta?
amazing.
Mac and cheese.
No, it's actual mac and cheese.
No, it was mac and cheese. Just it was fried to make it take the shape of a bun.
That's
That
crazy.
sounds like the last thing I would want to be eating in Tampa, Florida.
Exactly.
Well, it was a mistake order. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was delicious though.
yeah.
They also had like it was one of those places that has a burger with like you could get a donut buns as well.
Oh,
Yes.
one of those.
It's the kind of place where you really want to like good food, right? Where you really want to order your steak medium rare.
Yeah,
This
you
is
know.
well
cheat
done.
day. Cheat
This
day
is-
kind of
yeah.
restaurant.
And
True.
let me just point out what our Holly Mod himself did.
Oh my god, I don't even know if we should talk about this publicly. We're gonna shame him publicly.
I'm gonna
this
shame
is
him
too
publicly.
embarrassing to share. Like
Mr.
I wanna
Holly
hear it.
Mod is now for me going to be Mr. Well Done because this man ordered his steak
I know, Moonvald.
Aries.
Aries.
You
No,
thinner.
Mr. Well Done.
That is.
He got
no.
steak and eggs. He got a well done steak with it.
That's
Yeah.
no. That ain't right.
It's
Yeah.
not right.
Who does that?
Mr. Aries.
Apparently he does.
Like medium well at best. I'll let you slide, but well done. Come
I almost
on.
made him. I almost like cut that off of the check and just had him pay for it because I didn't want that on like
Like you cut the
the
check
actual
and be like,
check.
this.
Yeah, it was just like I
Oh.
can't
Did you
have
pay
this
for
on the
this part?
receipt for tax
I
purposes.
cannot in good conscience pay for this fucking up steak.
Oh my god. Yeah,
This
no
town
way,
gave
man.
its life for nothing. For nothing.
Nothing.
Unbelievable. All right,
It was
I
great.
have to follow this up because
Okay.
we gave Aries a lot of crap about it. And honestly, for me, I was like, hey, if you're in the middle of swamp ass country and you're
Sure.
you had a long day and you want to order a well done steak, I'm not exactly going to accuse you of any kind of crimes against humanity. All right, it is. I wouldn't personally do it. I think that's a strange choice, but I'm not going to be like
Hefty's taking the high road.
a little bit, just a little bit on this because I'm gluten free and I get a lot of like crap about being gluten free and be like, would you this gluten garbage, stuff like that. But we went to Charlie's Steakhouse on Sunday. It was Sunday? Yeah, it was Sunday. Sunday night. We went to Charlie's Steakhouse. And at that point, he was becoming Mr. Magic Mod with all those crazy David Blaine tricks. And
Okay.
I convinced him. I told him, I said, okay, what you have to do is you have to talk to the steakhouse to not get any pink or nothing red in the steak. Because really what it came down to was Aries was concerned about the red meat. All right. He was terrified of the steak jumping up and slap him in the face because it was still alive. All right.
Understood.
That's really the
That's a
the
rational
problem.
fear.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was scared
understand
of
it.
the steak becoming reanimated and force him to do something. So he had a delicious fillet, and he said it was the best steak he's ever had, and that he's been converted.
It was Wagyu beef though, right?
Yes.
He went big.
I mean,
Oh well, yeah. If you
Like, it
order
doesn't
well
matter
done
how well
Wagyu beef, you need to be punished by the law,
Yeah, I warned him. I was like, "Hey, man,
in my opinion.
the restaurant might throw you out if you order that well done." It's
Yeah.
possible.
I've had Wagyu beef, I don't know, 3 or 4 times in my life. And I don't know if it really, I mean, obviously rare is best,
Mhm.
but it doesn't really matter if you've never had Wagyu beef before, it's going to be the best steak you've ever had.
That is,
But
yes.
It's very
It
tasty.
was a mind-opening experience for Aries. He hadn't had that before. That's what I'm saying. So his repertoire of what a steak could possibly taste like got expanded, and now he's aware of why delicious steak exists.
Okay.
Okay.
So give the guy some wiggle room. I get it.
All right.
He's open to new experiences.
He did eat a
Expanded his
well-done steak.
horizons.
It did
How
happen.
rare will you guys go on steak? Like, will you go blue?
Bleeding, like as rare as I can.
Will you go blue? Like, if it's available
Yeah.
on the menu? You won't see it too often.
Okay, well, here's the thing too. Like, I live in Montana, and it's like ranch land here,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, it is.
So, any opportunity,
So there's the same
You can
reason.
literally
Right
just go outside, shoot a cow, and bring it in.
just start eating it.
here in the Bay Area, they have this West Marin cattle ranchers that are like grass fed. Like you can go out to the butchers out there, and some of those steaks are just it's insulting to cook them any more than just a flash sear on one side and then cut into it.
It depends on the beef. I always think it depends on the beef. Like if you get if you go to a really nice steak restaurant, then
Like Charlie's.
You know, I'll order blue. But like if I'm at like Outback Steakhouse,
Yeah.
there's
No,
some
you
just
concerns
don't do
about
that.
sanitation.
The
Sizzler.
context is important. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that. I wouldn't like.
Denny's ordering a steak.
Yeah, I might
Yeah,
go
don't
to
do
Aries
that.
Sure,
at
fair
Denny's.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's where we were and the quality of the food and what he ordered that is the atrocity is ensued.
Yeah.
Did you see the desserts there were off the chart?
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
the problem is you can't get to them, right? Like your meal comes and it's like a mountain of food.
It was a lot of food. Yeah, for sure.
It was a lot of food. Well, we had a good time. I think that what I enjoyed the most about the booth in GuardianCon is it seemed to be the hub of like where a lot of the Destiny fans were. You know, when they weren't in the line for Gambit, they were there hanging out. We On Air PC gave us 2 computers to give out each day.
No.
So
a
we
computer
were-
per
we were
day to give out.
Computer per day. That's right.
I didn't
And,
see the specs of the first one. The second one was like, holy shit.
It was a nice
Yes.
PC. Yeah.
It was a nice PC.
I didn't see the specs of the. I was just like,
And both computers went to people who needed them, which was really
Good.
cool.
Yep.
When we talked to them, they were guys that didn't have computers and really wanted to play PC
that's always
games.
what you hope for, right? It's like it sucks
Yeah.
when you like find out the contest winner is like a guy's like, well, maybe I'll give this to my cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 1080 Ti SLI. Be like,
Not
you
as
don't
nice as
need
the
this.
mainframe I'm running, but
We sold these shirts, right? These
Mhm.
were a GuardianCon exclusive, and these things we could have sold 3 times. The
I
shirts.
think they're still available on the website, right?
No,
No.
those were
Oh no, they're
exclusive.
done.
Oh no! Those are just GuardianCon shirts.
Oh,
yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah. But we are going to be doing an exclusive run for patrons next
That's right.
month. So if you sign
Can
up
I get
for,
one of those ones?
no, you have to be a patron.
Oh, shit. What level?
So, at least a level 5, I believe, is the.
If I
is
save for 2 months, I might be able to get there.
just looking at the cost and I think there's a $5 entry. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we have some great stuff planned. But as far as GuardianCon, the posters were a big hit. We had the sunglasses and the little Sharpies.
Yep.
I didn't think that those were. I didn't realize how
Those
sold out the
Sharpies
first day.
saved my life a couple times because like people came up and would you sign this and I with what like don't have anything but you
Blood.
guys had those teeny tiny Sharpies. Yeah, blood. Yes.
it was cool.
It was Sharpie sold out the first day. That was crazy.
Well, we
Yeah.
didn't sell them. We gave them away. So we gave them away to anybody who bought a
Briar
poster.
was drunk the
We-
entire time. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
He
not
doesn't remember.
true.
Yeah.
It's somewhere between the hours of 9
He
a.m.
remembers going
12.
to the beer shop, the beer place. It was beer o'clock. He remembers beer o'clock once per day, but he doesn't remember the other times.
I will say, every
No.
time I went to the bar, I saw Blesius and Cactus HD there. I think those guys are alcoholics.
You know, you might have you might have the
calling 'em
eye
out.
to be able to point them out, though. That's for sure.
That's not true. I'm just making a joke. Guys, they're not actually alcoholics. My bad.
No.
It's probably fucked up to call them that.
Oh.
So it was a great thing. We got Watts and I were up. Watts won the Gambit tournament.
Yep.
The great Gambit competition up on the main stage. that was really fun to see her get up there and be successful with a stacked team that was totally like unfair. But we're not going to get into that. Yeah.
That's because you lost, right?
I mean,
Can we talk about that a
Do
little
you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
No, we don't need to talk about it.
No,
Would
you
it-
sure?
I'll kick it off. Fallout is actually in chat right now.
Okay.
Fuck you, Fallout. I played Fallout in the 1v1 tournament, and he crushed me hard. It was 2 rounds, right? And going into the first round, they don't tell you that it's like a score based, like a cumulative thing. They tell you that going into the second round, so you really know how fucked you are going into the second round. He beat me 1-10. I didn't get skunked, which I was happy about. So the second round, I think it was Fallout. You might want to help me out here. I think it was like 3-5, maybe 3-6 ish. He still whipped me my ass pretty hard. But man,
Did he use a
ruthless.
shotgun the entire time?
I think he used a fusion rifle and a shotgun. I think he was switching between weapons. Like, he was switching up, but I mean, he's just really good. And it was fun. It was fun to play with him. It was fun to be on like a stage like that too. Yeah. I wish that I had put some time into controller. I feel like it took me the first match to like learn how to use a controller again. True enough, Pope. This is real, like solid ass excuses right here. I wish that I had used a controller a little bit, because even when we played Bungie, I cheated and I used the Zim. I didn't actually use a controller. So I think it's like legit been since October that I've like used a controller to play Destiny. But by the second round, I felt like at least I was like not embarrassing myself like I did in the first round.
Sure.
But then I got to watch you and Tefty play, and that made everything feel better.
I personally had to warm up in that first round. Also, I was trying to have a gunfight.
No. You had to switch the shotgun into your inventory and just
No,
use
actually,
that.
it was already there for the first round.
Oh, you just found it.
What happened was,
Tefty, did you get to use your own account? Because I didn't get to use my own account.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
did.
get to
You guys
use my
had to
account.
log into your own account.
Yeah, I knew my password and I had the authenticator on me.
Oh, that was
so I was
lucky.
able to just.
I wish I had done that.
So I first of all, here's where the problem started. I had to use a hunter. All right.
You mean the best
And in the
Why
class?
did you have to use a hunter?
Because I didn't have an account, so I had
But
to use.
The account you used didn't have 3.
So Watts only has a hunter on her account. She doesn't have a
Oh,
Titan.
you used Watts. See, I just asked if they would give me one of their accounts, and they just signed in for me.
So I didn't
It was
want to
like a fully loaded account.
I didn't want to create an issue.
So
I knew Tefty was
basically
gonna
not a
win anyway,
problem.
so it didn't matter.
Would that have been an issue though?
Yeah, would have been an issue
Yeah.
For what?
to ask.
If I had my Titan? Oh, I would have wiped the floor with him. It's
Yeah?
no big deal. Yeah.
How so?
Yeah. Oh, it's like, I mean, on my Titan, that's just...
See, if I remember correctly, Titans take the same amount of damage from shotguns as a hunter, right?
It's the movement mode.
Sounds like you guys need a rematch.
If I have to explain all this to you, maybe, I mean, we can do it on another time, but it's basically movement and the ability to move around the map, and I just was unfamiliar with
On a controller?
And the sun was in my eyes.
So, yeah.
There was issues with where I was
In the
sitting.
windowless room.
Actually, they took the
was in
sun
your
right
eyes.
off of Burnout.
Right? I don't know. All I know is that I got my ass handed to me by Tefty and his shotgun.
I want to,
Zenith.
I want to bring you this compliment.
Yes.
Pope came back to the booth.
Yes. Tell me.
And he was mad.
Oh, awesome.
Like
I was
real mad.
Real mad? Salty
He's like,
Pope?
Tefty used a shotgun. He controlled the heavy. Such a fucker. I hate that guy.
He played the game right.
I cursed the pox on his firstborn.
I never said any of that. I definitely.
I mean,
think
I
that,
did have to use a controller, Pope. Yeah, it was on PC.
And I
at
did
least.
get to use my own controller, which should have given me the advantage.
Yeah, I thought you had hacks installed in there, man. No, hacks?
Did you speaking of hacks? Like, I really was hoping that we'd get a chance to use the new Scuff controllers.
Yeah, those are sweet.
I didn't get a chance to play on them. They look really awesome. Having that additional button up front and being up top and being able to program that, I have a feeling that I'll be a lot more comfortable with that.
Is that the new one that's laid out like an Xbox controller kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to hold it because I was like, that was the main thing I was excited about with the 1v1, that I thought I was going to be able to use the Vantage to be able to try it out. Turns out they didn't have PC support for it just yet because the driver wasn't ready. So I used the regular Scuff, which was fine because Those feel really great. But
I don't think it mattered what controller I was using. The announcers were literally laughing at me.
So I got to try out the Vantage. Just hold on to it, and I came from Xbox.
They had like 10 of them, right?
Yeah, I don't know how many they had, but like I asked Alex about it, and I came from Xbox, so I prefer the Xbox layout, and it feels fantastic. And also the paddles have a nice tactile click to it. To sometimes the paddle can be a little too stiff, or you want it to be firm, but can give easily. We're talking about the paddles here, and
okay,
yeah, they feel great.
My mind was starting to go to something else.
Yeah, I was wandering.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So I'm personally excited about those Vantages. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, It's good stuff.
Okay,
I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Firm yet soft.
we should be getting our getting our chance to have a hand, get our hands on them pretty soon here. But I
this
think
is the kind of talk that guy got us kicked off of Planet Destiny in the first place.
I think so.
Is that what happened?
Yep.
Now there was I really got to give a shout out to Farcog and Peter and that group for putting together that in such short notice. I contacted them with 2 weeks before the show and asked them if they wanted to do this thing, and they turned around and made it really something special.
Shoutcasters were amazing too. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch it after you competed, but their color commentary was really good. Like they're doing the play-by-play. The color commentary was really good, and then Farcog doing just the organizing, like he was the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
He was like Oz back there, right? The Wizard of Oz back there, just like, okay, no, you idiot, you chose the wrong game mode. No, you don't know your password? Oh my God.
I love Farcog. I'm really, really upset that I didn't get to say hi to him the time I was there.
It was really cool to have him be a part of it.
Farcog was really nice, by the way.
Yeah, he was.
That's what I heard. Sweetheart.
And I think he really impressed Scuff. I was talking to Alex of Scuff, and they were like they're going to be working with them in the future on some other projects that I'm really excited to.
Pope, didn't you help orchestrate some of that? Get that connected?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's okay though. I beat you, Pope, so it doesn't matter. Next topic.
That's really what's important here, I think.
It doesn't matter. You know what I really. No, not at all.
I
was on a controller, all right. I didn't have mouse keyboard.
Well, I think we've already established that Fallout is a cheater, though, right?
Definitely.
We all know that.
Yeah.
We've seen his videos. He finds all the loopholes and all
anybody
the
that uses Phoenix Dive.
I will not stand for
100%.
the shit talk. Not here.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you that having one of the great things about this community is like how quickly they're willing to step up, and when Scuff reached out and it was like, hey, we were thinking about doing this tournament, I said, hey, if you're going to do a tournament, these are the guys. So I brought in Anubis and Peter and Farcog, and they really grabbed onto it and made it happen. If at one point when they were running the tournament, I think there was more people around the Scuff booth than anywhere else, like watching the main stage or anything. They were watching that 1v1. So shout out to Little Sonic, right? Who won it?
That's just really, because Watts had an eye injury. I'm pretty sure Sonic came around Dats's and just poked her in the eye while nobody was watching.
You're right.
That's probably what happened.
Unbelievable.
I'm thinking that's what happened.
Watts would have taken it for sure if she hadn't. If they hadn't cheated. So, but one of the things that I thought was really cool is that what made this tournament really neat is that the winner of it got a chance to have their own skin for a controller designed.
That's awesome.
Available.
What a great winning prize, right?
Yeah. I mean, really cool. It's really cool. It's one of the things that the new controller, the Advantage, is going to have is that it's going to have skins that can pop off, and kind of like on the Astros where you can pop off they're going to have skins on the top cover, and they're going to be designing. So Little Sonic's going to get his own design. I think that's awesome. It was a really great prize, and I hope we see more options like that, like maybe a DCP Scuff in the future.
That'd be cool.
I got one right here.
I'd buy it.
No,
we go.
That's close. That's good. That's good. Maybe one with like a design where when you're gripping it, you have our faces. Like you could.
I should have brought this down to GuardianCon.
Okay, I would buy it.
And Ash, that would have been really cool.
Sign it or something, or
Yeah, or do like a DCP logo on it. We could have given it away or something, like as an official DCP controller.
Damn, Briar.
Yeah,
You know what? Next year for the GuardianCon live stream, maybe we'll do that.
we may have one that
And
she
I'll
doesn't
actually
need
follow
to
through on
draw.
like everybody else on the podcast. Except for Tefty. Tefty definitely followed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Brian, we definitely, thanks for paying attention. We definitely did give away 2 Scuff controllers at GuardianCon.
So
So,
this one would have been cool.
okay.
You forgot the cool factor, man.
All right. So, yeah.
Yo,
Good.
we got to play Gambit. Can we talk about Gambit a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Ugh,
Yes.
bastards.
Gambit was amazing. Oh,
Yo,
Tell me
I
all
finally
about
got
it.
to check out that bow. And I don't.
Oh, so nice.
I really concentrated on the bow. Does anybody know the name of the exotic bow?
No.
I wish I knew the name
Badass.
of it.
I think it was called Badass.
Badass, because it was badass. So it's got 2 firing modes. When you fire like from the hip, you kind of hold it sideways and drop back. And when you like aim down sight, you hold it like upright, and you're a little more accurate with it. And then like depending on how long you hold it back, like depends on the power the arrows are going to do and like how fast they travel through the air. If you hold it back all the time, like for the full amount of time, it becomes hit scan. It's so fun. Like it's so satisfying and fun to use. I actually got like a Guardian kill with it in Gambit, which I was really excited about because you know it feels different. That's what I feel like Destiny needs right now. Is it needs to they need to like start making different things. Right, we've been playing very similar activities for 4 years now. And what Gambit felt like was a new, different type of activity. And with the bow, it felt like a brand new, different type of weapon. And it was really satisfying and really fun.
The bow was called Trinity Ghoul.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Badass better.
Badass bow.
I don't know. Trinity Ghoul sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
cool name. Honestly,
I liked its function. I like that we are going to see a variety of different types of quivers, like arrows that you're going to be able to shoot and different ways of shooting them. There was
this one shot like 3.
Yeah, there was a 3-prong one that shot out.
was
there
that
was
its
ones that
exotic perk, or was that the archetype? Anybody know?
I'm not sure.
Probably
know.
too early.
I didn't get a chance to look at, but it looked like ones that were like harder, like they took longer to pull out, to pull
Yeah, draw
and fire and draw, and it hit harder. So it looks like they're going to be doing different things with the arrows.
Yeah,
It felt organic and fun to use.
It was definitely fun using the bow for sure. When playing Gambit specifically, I felt like it was not ideal, so I did end up switching off of it like after the first round. But when I was pulling the bow and getting the shots and all that, it was a lot of fun. I didn't invade until the very end, so I wasn't able to go and try that stuff. But people who did come over that were invading, I was hitting them with either the pulse rifle or the bow, and that was it was good stuff.
The bow, because it fired 3 shots out, it felt like it was better at crowd control than like single target damage.
Yeah.
Unless you were very close, like if you could get all 3 of those arrows to land on a single target, you had to be pretty close. But yeah, it was satisfying. It felt good. The animation was cool. Like everything about it it felt very Bungie, like where it's just pleasing to fire it off.
Yeah.
It had a great feel to it. Once again, Briar, I completely agree with you. Like the mechanics.
Didn't we agree we're going to argue this podcast? What are we doing here, Bo?
I don't know. The bow was so hard to use, Briar. I can't believe it. Like you can't hit anything. I don't know.
You don't mean that.
It was fun to use. The mechanics, the firing mechanics, the way it felt when you ran around with it, and like you said, it just felt appropriate. So if you were just going to fire from the hip, that the bow was down here and you didn't bring it up, just satisfying to use.
Yeah, it was good.
Great stuff.
It was good stuff. The Gambit itself just feels amazing. Like it feels like a mode that is Destiny, where it combines the space power fantasy of these aliens that we've been fighting for a long time, and then some of the feeling of the PvP experience, like a little bit of PvP mixed in with that. Just it's the mode that I've been wanting to be able to chill in a playlist. And there's something for everyone in there. If you're a Slayer, you can go in there. You could be like the main PvP person. If you're really good at doing PvE and burning bosses, like you can be the one that organizes that strategy.
And the Slayer, let me point this out, because we were doing a demonstration, a tournament up top, on the main stage. And Slayers, when they invade the other person's, realm, they're having a good Slayer is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we were playing, we had 2 people with 15 motes about to dunk them in the bank. And TV came to the other side with his sniper and popped 3 headshots right in a row, 2 of which had 15 motes on us. And once you kill somebody with the motes, they're gone, right? You can't pick them up. So that his 3 headshots, his 3 snipes knocked out at least 40 motes, just like that.
The thing is, too, is that you get alerted that there's a Slayer in the arenas are bigger than I pictured. Like I didn't realize how like big
they're like Prison of Elders big.
Oh, really?
Maybe bigger. I don't know.
A little
like,
bigger, about that size though,
more
right?
dense. Like there's actual like the one I played on, there was like buildings and stuff. Like there's definitely stuff to hide around. And when you're transported over, like I didn't even realize that you appeared on the radar because you appear just the same as regular PvE enemies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can really hide, based on where the PvE enemies are. Yeah. So you get alerted that there's a guy over there, and maybe like we'll learn exactly where the spawn points are.
Yeah.
And it'll become a little easier to figure that out. But initially it was like, well, I know there's a guy here, but I don't know where to look for him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, head on a swivel. I should be damaging this boss right here, but my head's on a swivel because I don't want to get sniped,
Exactly. Yeah.
That's clever.
I got to invade with the Void Dancer at the very end, and
that's built for it.
Yeah, I had that knowledge that like you're like, there's somebody here. Your screen goes red, which is disorienting. So that happens. And then you just don't know where the person is unless you like catch an outline and they're glowing red. So it's very obvious once you see them. But if you don't see them, it's very difficult to tell where they're at. So you can go over there.
It's disconcerting.
Yeah, it's disconcerting. I went over there, went behind a building, and when you invade, you can see where everybody is. You see their names pop up. You're like, oh, easy. Okay,
see an outline of them.
That's where they are. So I got close to the center, popped my my Void Dancer, went invisible because that's part of the perk. Got like right next to them. They had no idea, and then just easy double kill. Go invisible.
Crazy.
Wow.
I saw people getting quad kills, and what one of the coolest things about this is seeing the crowd getting excited for competitive PvE/PvP, because it was really cool to see people in the crowd cheering for that quad kill.
So I was in the crowd cheering for that, right? And I gotta say, this definitely could be something that is fun to watch.
Yeah.
But if they're gonna do tournaments, or if they have any kind of hope for like putting it, like broadcasting this in any way, they need some kind of spectator mode. Because when I was watching, you were up there and Watts was up there, so I had a vested interest in like who was who up on that stage. No idea. I could not tell the teams apart. I could not tell the players apart. Like it was almost impossible to follow from a spectator point of view. It was exciting to watch a 4-person kill, but I didn't know if I should be cheering it or booing it, because like, there's no kind of broadcaster options. There's nothing like that, and it's a bummer for Destiny not to have that kind of stuff, because it'd be really fun to watch.
So I think one of the problems that of that game mode, like when they were the shoutcasters, part of it was the setup, right? This is new. They had a setup where the shoutcasters had these television screens that had these all 8 of the players' screens up on the board. The problem is that we were all on like demo accounts, so they didn't know our names.
Yeah,
first of all. And second of all, the screens were too far away from the shoutcasters. So they're sitting there looking like this, squinting, trying to like call out they have a little clicker to switch between the plays. The system there would have been much better if we would have been on our own accounts and they could have seen the names, and the screens were closer for them. I think that would have covered that part of that for you, Briar, if the shoutcaster was announcing, oh, let's go over to Pope Air, who's about to get a quad.
Well, I couldn't hear the shoutcaster
team,
anyway, because at GuardianCon I wasn't watching a live stream.
Oh,
right?
That's true. Okay.
But like there was no indication of like which team the person I was watching is on. It would have helped if there was names, but I don't even know if a name shows up anywhere. Like when you're playing, right? Your name doesn't show up when I'm watching your screen. I know I'm watching your screen because you're in the bottom right-hand corner because you're on Twitch. Like, that's
true.
Some color
Yeah,
coding thing or something.
Yeah.
I think with a couple of tools, they could make Gambit freaking amazing for some tournaments and competitive stuff. So
Right. And
I hope they do that.
They're refreshing Trials, they're refreshing the Iron Banner, like they're refreshing PvP. You know, it'd be nice to see, you know, like, hey, I don't know. I don't know how hard this stuff is to develop, but it'd be nice to see, like, just a nod to, like, some people do like to watch this stuff
Problem
in a
is-
broadcast format.
Problem is, I'm pretty sure that would require a dedicated server to have some sort of spectator stuff like that being put in there. And they,
Maybe.
yeah,
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not, but like if they could just have like, you know, like like which team is the person I'm watching on, and, you know, maybe like a live scoreboard all the time, like that kind of simple stuff.
In Call of Duty, when you went into private matches, it was simple. You were allowed to have a third team, and you could assign it as a neutral. And so they were not given a body that spawned in, but access to switch between all the accounts. It was something very low level, and you could go in and you know, for not these big organized tournaments and some like local tournaments, it allowed somebody to come in and just keep and flip between the views.
You can even have like a camera like kind of flying around too, couldn't you? In Call of Duty,
fly cam, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
That wasn't dedicated servers, not at the time. That was like Black Ops 2 days, right?
Yeah. So it would be fun to see if they could come up with something. I know that playing it on stage, getting, you know, having the people, you know, cheering, and, you know, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was fun watching it. I'm glad to see that Bungie's putting out this game mode, and it really makes me excited for what the future of like this competitive realm is.
Yeah, for sure. It's a game. It plays fantastic. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited for everybody to jump into it. It could be the new thing that people want to jump in for competitive stuff, because it's gonna be
really nice too, because you'll have your friends who maybe like PvE a little bit more than PvP, but you all kind of want to play together and do something that you enjoy. And like Pope said earlier, it has something for everybody, so it allows you to spend time with your friends. And
I hope the rewards
enjoy yourself and
really good. Like I hope that there's really cool loot to get out of specifically that event to really kind of keep you going back.
Like you have to get a catalyst that only drops from an invader.
Well, it's going to be fun to see what competitive the teams get built out of this. I'm still excited, and I still watch competitive Destiny 2. There's a tournament coming up this weekend. The guys over with Varcog are putting it on. Destiny Tracker, I believe, or DTR and Solid are putting out a Destiny 2 showcase. BSK, Pinnacle, Primal, Think Again, Destin, Tier 1, I Am, Inclement are playing.
Destin Legary?
No. Team Destin. And it's July 21st and 22nd at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a fun tournament. It's going to be fun to see this top level gameplay of Destiny being played. And I always tune in for those. Those are really exciting.
Yeah.
So we got to see Gambit. We got to play it. We got to feel it.
I didn't feel it.
What was your
I
favorite
played it.
class?
I don't know if I felt.
You didn't feel it? You didn't?
Yeah, one game is too early, honestly. Like, and also, we had to run to it early in the morning and just get in there and play a game. And I guess most people were throwing the second round, so they make sure that they get a third round to play. I think that was like the unwritten rule throughout the arena was like, make sure you throw.
It was like a 6-hour wait.
Yeah.
Yes,
make sure you
that's
get your
true.
time
Make
in.
sure you
That's
throw
good
that
to-
second round to have a third round. Otherwise, you're literally cutting playtime. But I think it's going to require us to be, we're going to have our accounts and our loot and our gear and all that to see how things settle with Gambit. Like it seems like it's going to be the go-to mode for people to just chill in.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be fun for sure. You guys want to do Twitter questions?
We can. Do we want to talk about?
We got a ton of stuff to twab.
Yeah. Do we like the prestige mode came out and like the changes with that?
Oh right, I forgot about the prestige mode.
Yeah.
There's the event that's coming up,
What event?
Solstice of Heroes.
Oh, do we know anything new about that?
Yeah. Well,
What do we know?
we can talk about it. I don't think we've talked about it in detail. It came out during when we were doing the live show at GuardianCon, so we didn't really get to talk about it.
Yeah.
What's new to talk about, Pope?
Well, I don't know. There's some of the cool details there. There was we already saw some bounties show up in the tower.
Mhm.
We haven't talked about that. There's
Saw
Zavala.
the lore on the armor. Did you guys? We were
Yeah.
hearing about that like at the event.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of the bounties. I really like that the NPCs have bounties again. So just
Oh, that's update 1.2.3. That's not even
Right.
part of Solstice of Heroes.
right, but then that's they're expanding on that, the bounty system.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a big statue in the middle of the tower that you're going to go to, and you're going to get your bounties for ranking your
Solstice
armor.
statue thingy.
Right. So you're going to have scorched armor. So the lore behind that is you're going to go up to the statue, and it's going to teleport you to a special location.
Is it going to be the old tower?
Yes, I believe so.
It looks like it's going to be, doesn't it?
So that's the
pretty
concept. So
cool.
you're going to go pull out armor that's going to be scorched from the Red Legion invasion. So you're going to pull stuff out, and it's going to be broken up, and you're going to and to honor the sacrifice of previous guardians that have fought.
Mhm.
You're going to don this armor, and you're going to rank it up, or like to build it up. And it's going to come out scorched, and then you're going to be rekindled, and then it's going to be resplendent armor. And all along the stages of those, you're going to go out and do objectives to rank it up. It's going to start at power 240, then it's going to go to 340, and then up to 400. So through this, you're going to get up to 400, and then once you reach 400, there's going to be another set of objectives that will unlock a masterwork for each one of those pieces of armor. So it's a really cool progression using these.
Are they going to be unique masterworks for this armor?
I don't know if it's going to be. I don't know that they don't say that if it's going to be unique masterworks, but the resplendent skin. So once you've reached the resplendent, and say you wanted the original OG skin or whatever, those are going to be options within that.
Those are going to be ornaments
to select. It's going to be an ornament, right?
Okay.
And I'm looking at them. They're really good. They're really cool.
They're really nice. You can apply chromas to them too, right? But those come out of the Eververse lore.
Are they
Right,
actually calling them chroma, or are they calling them something else this time?
Let's call them colors or something.
But
I think they call them
chroma.
chroma.
Yeah, apparently
they're
they will
calling
light up even brighter if they match your subclass to the color. Wasn't that in there?
They call them
That's
armor
really cool.
glows.
Yeah.
Glows.
Which
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
So the armor glows are unlocked permanently like ornaments, and they shine brightest when your subclass element aligns with the element of the
Yeah.
glow.
There you go.
So I
But
think
the
that's
glows
a really
are tied to the Eververse, right?
cool,
Yeah,
It does
It's
talk-
like engrams, like you get the prototype engrams or whatever. They pop out, and you have a chance of getting some of those.
it does look like they're coming from Tess because it's in the section of the THWAB where it talks about extras.
Yeah.
So they're doing it a little different, Briar. So you can earn the stuff from Tess through playing. You're going to get 3 per account by completing the event milestones on each of your characters. So you're going to get a chance to get 3 anyway, and to get a chance to win some of the
3
stuff.
per week or 3?
It doesn't stay. It doesn't
So
say.
when they said that, it was confusing how they set that up, but I'm pretty sure you're still getting engrams every time you level up your character. So you get like a regular Tess engram and then a Solstice engram. I believe that's how it's working. But then there's also quests that give you an engram on your account. So I believe you could do those 3 times. So like 1 per character essentially.
Oh,
And
so 3 times total.
Yeah.
For the entire event.
Well, yeah, for the free engram. Like you probably go talk to the statue, you do the quest. I don't know 100% if this is accurate, but it sounds like you go and do this quest, and you get one of these free engrams, and then regular leveling up, like just playing the game regularly, will grant you one of those engrams as well, in addition to the regular test engram.
So after you've exhausted those, the only way that you can get them, Briar, it looks like through Tess.
Yeah, through buying them or XP.
Right. And so we need a clarification. I don't know if it doesn't state whether the XP option, Tefty, that you're talking about is it doesn't, when I read it, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I thought the
Is there
XP
gonna
was
be
the
a
regular
moment-
bright engram.
Is there going to be a Moment of Triumph book in game like there has been in the past?
There's a collection book,
I think so. Yeah.
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 Didn't they
So
show
it
us
says-
like a prototype of it?
I could have swore they
The book?
did. Yeah, some sort
Yeah.
of like reveal of it.
They did. And so it says no matter what activity you play in Destiny 2 during the Solstice of Heroes, you'll receive one Solstice engram in addition to the bright engram you'll earn for leveling up.
Oh, really?
And it's any activity that you play, you're going to be you're going to be ranking up and doing work towards it.
But you'll have to do specific events to fill out your Triumph book.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, prestige raid layers and stuff like that.
Yep.
There is a ghost that I need to have.
A ghost that's
Is it
needed, huh?
The
Yeah.
one that looks like a servitor?
No, it's the one that looks like a sun. To me, that one looks
Oh yeah.
so awesome. It looks like it's a really badass looking ghost.
I like
There's
the
a couple-
sparrows. There's two new sparrows that look
Yes.
like completely different. Like one of them looks almost like a dog's head or something, like
No, dude, look at it closely, Briar. You're sitting on a hog.
a hog.
Yes, you're sitting on a motorcycle. Like your feet are up like this, and you're sitting back like you're riding an Easy Rider motorcycle. Dude, you're not leaned forward like you're on like if these were motorcycles, like the Kawasaki like Ninja like rocket, you're leaned forward like this. These you're sitting back like on a
like a Harley,
like a Harley.
Yeah.
And so you're
So
like
cool.
up in front of you, and you're like it's got these big mufflers that come out the back. It looks like you're what was that Marvel, the one the he always rode a motorcycle.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
It looks like a play on that. It'd be fun to see if one was in fire, because that would be freaking amazing.
That would be cool.
But and then the dances that you can. Here's one that we don't see in tests, but we see in an event, unfortunately, and that's fishing.
So do you guys get an idea from this event that it's really just centered around completing the book of like the Triumph book? Or is there going to be any new activities that come along with this event?
I don't think. Well, so it talks about how we're going to be going through our Kura, right? So we're going to be going through her, and it looks like we're going to be doing some reimagined, her memories.
Yeah.
Her.
They said like
So that's going to be missions that are a higher difficulty. Is there anything new though? Is there anything like?
Well, those. So just to split that point, you're doing the missions at higher difficulty, but there's also new enemies in them, and they've been redone. So there's it's not going to play the same. They're going to be harder, and then there's going to be new enemies and
Some
different
new
things
bosses.
that are going to new bosses.
Good. Yeah, that's good to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What I was hoping from Solstice of Heroes was that it was going to be like some kind of new activity was going to drop. Like I was making fun of SRL, but like I expected something like SRL to drop. You know what I mean?
Here we are, no SRL, and we're like, okay, guys, come on, show the SRL. Let's have it.
Please.
Not
there's some
specifically SRL, but like that type of thing where like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I was kind of thinking was going to happen.
I was thinking of it in two ways. Either we get something new that's like some sort of event thing like that, or we get to try out the new weapon system. Those were the things I was hoping for. Of either a new system or an SRL like type event, or they're like, hey, for the month of August, you now get to experience the weapon system because we've rearranged everything. You get used to that, and then Forsaken hits. I don't think it's happening.
It seems like it's really kind of centered around the Books of Triumph, right?
It does seem that way.
The
Yeah.
Moments of Triumph.
It does look like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Seems most.
They do talk about, and they hint some that there might be. They're not revealing all of the details. So one of the things that I was just gonna put on my tinfoil hat a little bit, read into the.
You could use a little sun protection right now.
Yeah, you can get sunburns from that. Trust me.
So apparently, so they're redoing the missions. What if this is an opportunity for them to sneak in like one of the exotics from before in these missions? Like as you're playing them, there's going to be some split off that goes like we saw in D1,
Oh, with Black Spindle.
For Black Spindle, because in the TWAB there is a hint that it might be there, and it sounds. I'll have to find the exact spot, but when I was reading through it, I went, maybe we're gonna get some stuff, but it'll be interesting. We're gonna be doing those missions over again, and I was hoping that maybe we'd see some secrets.
Some secret rewards that drop.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe for sure. So I think it's cool that they're doing this upgraded armor thing. Like seeing what they're doing with that, I think I like that idea. I like the fact that you go to the statue. I like that they're adding that kind of progression in there. At the end of the day, though, like I can't wait to play Forsaken. Like let's fast forward August, make September 4th happen.
Like, how much
of
this do I have to do to get my T-shirt?
I think you have to complete all the triumphs.
Yeah. All right.
So there's going to be a
last T-shirt with your name on it.
The T-shirt has so you're going to be doing the bounties, and you can already accomplish a lot of the moments of triumph right now if you log into Bungie.net, and you can take a look at it and complete a lot of them. But there is going to be one row of the moments of triumph that you can't complete now that is not going to be available until the Solstice event. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts, 6 bounties or 6 aspects of it.
I think that's going to be like an exotic quest.
Well, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I was
what do you do that for people who weren't
cool
around, though? They need to get that exotic.
Fuck them.
Got it. Briar's rules, right? Drunk Briar's rules.
This is Drunk Briar's rules.
That stuff's going to be in game, too, because you're going to check off that stuff. So we're going to have like a Solstice book in game, which I think is cool. Yeah.
Chat's saying the T-shirt is only 250 out of 400 points.
Oh, so you don't even have to do it all.
Oh,
that's kind of...
I already got it done, I think.
Probably.
Yeah, mine, the ones that weren't done for me was the adventures and the treasures on the planetary. The
chests.
Yeah, planetary chests, which I still haven't done that yet. Need to do that, but yeah, it's cool. I always like the fact that they do some sort of yearly roundup, kind of gets you ready for the DLC. Yeah, and the armor looks cool.
The best one was the first year where they did like the community video of like highlights from the community of
that was
year
cool.
1.
That was really cool. Yeah,
that was neat.
And didn't they even like? Couldn't you even like? You had your own video on the website that like showed you the things that you'd completed and who you completed them with.
That was cool. Yeah,
it was a little generated. Yeah.
Yep.
That was really cool.
It gave you like a name too.
I had deleted so many accounts over the years that my video was just like with random people like that. I had just because I had deleted most of my accounts by that point, so nothing. Yeah,
mine actually reminded me of like the first time I did Vault of Glass.
I didn't get that.
The first time I did Crota's End, like and who I did it with. It was actually really touching.
Yeah,
it was a cool moment watching that.
Anything else about Solstice of Heroes? It seems like a really cool event. I know a lot of people are going to be like, well, where's Forsaken? But I like...
We're only a month away from Forsaken.
Yeah, we're getting close. Yep.
Yeah. But I like the direction. It gives me some
hope, a month and a half.
Hope that like the way that they're handling the event, it looks cool. It's going to be fun. And hopefully...
I don't know, though. I feel like I just need something new out of Destiny right now. Like... I feel like
you played Gambit. That's why.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. I guess I do actually, Tefty. Yeah. I feel a lot like I did last year around this time where I had played Destiny 2 and I wasn't super interested in playing Destiny 1 anymore. You know, like I was like, I'm ready for the next thing. Like I am ready for, the next thing in Destiny right now.
Sure.
The same old of, year 1 Destiny 2 in a lot of ways feels a lot like Destiny 1 where, it's like doing a lot of public events that don't feel a whole lot different than they did in Destiny 1. And Lord knows we've done our share of Destiny or we've done our share of public events in Destiny 2. Strikes feel very similar that they did in the last game. The raids have been really good, but I'm just ready for the next evolution of Destiny. I'm really hoping the Forsaken provides some of that at least, right? Like with Gambit game mode that definitely are showing, at least something new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you guys had a chance to play any of the new touched on exotics since the update?
Yeah, Karnstein armlets. Good
Yeah.
God. Amazing.
That's what I hear.
Like, you are such a tank. I mean, it's hilarious. Like,
Okay.
Warlocks are the most tankiest class in the game.
Because they wear cloth, you know. They of course
You
they
wear
take it.
a really
Makes sense.
like just some sort of futuristic space technology of a cloth that allows
Kevlar
you.
dresses.
Yeah, some sort of dress material that allows you to survive everything that is literally thrown at you. It's incredible. So if you didn't already know that Devour was amazing on a Warlock, now you can have essentially Devour Plus, because it's like you don't get your health back 100%, but you get a nice chunk of your health back, and you can use this with any subclass whatsoever. So if you're missing Devour on your Dawnblade, you were like, man, this Phoenix Dive just ain't cutting it. All this health I'm getting back from that. I need it every single time I do something. You put on the Karnsteins, and when you slap an enemy and get a kill, it gives you health and then continuously recharges for, I believe, 8 seconds.
Oh, wow.
This is
And there's
nuts.
no cooldown, right?
There's no cooldown. You're like,
Yeah.
slap, slap. And you also get these like nails that pop out of
There's
your
no
hands.
cooldown?
There's no cooldown, man. It says
Nope.
vampire cuirass or some crap like that. Vampire something. You're
If
constantly...
you take damage, does it stop?
No, it doesn't.
It just keeps going?
Continuously recharges.
It's freaking
I was
awesome.
like, Titans, what are you even doing being a Titan? Warlocks are the actual tank class. It's ridiculous, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been using the Stompies a little bit with triple jump.
hmm
That's a nice improvement. You get very, very high. In
Can you take
PvP, it's
damage
fun.
on the way down?
What's that?
Like, are you
yeah,
that
you
high?
can. It's like being a Titan in Destiny 1 where sometimes you just jump so fucking high
Yeah.
that you're like, well,
Catapult,
fuck.
just like, yeah, when you hit the ground.
It's the best.
Yeah, you can definitely mess yourself up. But like if you got an SMG in PvP, like people don't even know where to look. They look up, but they didn't look up.
Yeah.
Like, you're really high up there, and then like you feel like you have more control. Like when you're doing jumping puzzles and stuff. Like it's a nice addition. I don't know if it's as good as Karstein, but
Karnsteins are a game changer.
I've heard the Doomfang gauntlets are real good now.
Okay.
I was just about to say that they are beautiful.
I got to rock the pauldrons as well.
Oh yeah,
It's nuts, guys. I mean,
it's nuts on a cracker.
as long as you have enemies in front of you, all you do is you throw the shield, and
Throw
then
it.
if you don't have a shield ready, like you hit enemies with your regular melee and keep on throwing the shield and all that. And if you happen to hit multiple enemies, I mean, you can like have a quarter super energy left. If you chain a bunch of enemy hits, you literally have full super again. It's like
You can get your super
Full.
again and throw
Oh,
your
wow.
you
It's
throw your
nuts.
grenade out there, and grenade kills
Nice.
give you super energy. So
Yeah, there's
it's
a clip floating around Twitter right now that the guy's got it for like 40 seconds.
yeah, yeah.
it's a great PvE
That's a lot.
edition. It's a great PvE.
amazing.
It's a lot.
It's a game changer. It's on like the same level as Karnstein's, and suddenly I'm interested in playing a Sentinel. For most of the time, I've been like, I got a pumpkin using hammers.
I ran the heroic playlist, which I'm excited. I'm actually happy the way that they changed up the heroic playlist. It's actually fun to play again.
Yeah, it's fun to play Garden World over and over and over.
You're getting repeats.
Yeah,
I'm not. I didn't, but you know, so I enjoyed playing it. The perks didn't seem stupid, and it really was fun to play as a Sentinel Titan for the first time in a long time, and try on different armor pieces. The Doomfangs were just a blast, and I got a chance to. I really felt like playing as a Sentinel was relevant again.
Yeah,
I like that they're giving us more power with our supers and with exotics. It's a lot of fun. I was playing the competitive playlist yesterday as a pole dancer, and there was a moment where like I was nearly dead. I was the last man alive on my team. I ran around a corner, popped my pole dancer, quickly got 3 kills with the pole dancer, and was able to do a 1v1, to win the match. And it feels like we're not there yet, but we're getting back to a point where you can really pull off some amazing stuff, like given the right opportunity in PvP, and that's a lot of fun to see.
You can have that power fantasy
yeah,
that you can have in D1. Yeah.
yep,
It's really nice.
yeah. It's good stuff. Like it's exactly how it feels. Like you getting things to feel actually powerful with those exotics. And if it requires equipment exotic, like I think that's a good balance.
Well, and it also changes. You got to play a certain play style. You got to
Sure.
design your. You don't want to be a range. You don't want to go into an encounter at a range with ranged weapons and plan all that out if you're going to be wearing the Doomfang, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to get in there. You want to have something up close and personal. You want to get in there, and you want to make things happen, right? That's what I felt like in D1. So the exotics felt like they were, once you chose the right way to play to maximize them, and you created that build, they were super powerful, right?
Yeah.
The Crest of Alpha Lupe, putting it on was awesome. Every melee hit, once you got your shield up with a Sentinel Titan, with a Void Titan, you produce an orb. I could produce like 15 orbs, for my teammates, throwing down a bubble. You couldn't do that here in D2, and it's nice to see that they're starting to let loose the exotics a little bit.
Yeah, there wasn't any hunter exotics though that felt like this. I mean, hunters already kind of have some of that. No, I mean, I'm gonna be honest here. Like,
are you gonna be there? You're preaching to the you're pandering.
My
to the
golden
crowd,
gun
aren't you,
sucks.
Right? Okay, it sucks.
Yeah,
True.
Golden gun sucks.
I like hunter neutral game the best,
Mhm.
but the actual supers to me don't feel.
The Wormhusk
Exactly.
is so fucking good.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
Mhm.
oh my god! Every time I dodge, I instantly get my health back. It makes the hunter my favorite class in PvP by a long shot.
definitely.
Like, I just feel so nimble and like I can get out of anything. I can take any risk and get out of it because of that Wormhusk and the dodge.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but there's just, I want those exotics like the Karnstein or the Doomfang to happen also on like a golden gun variety. Hey, the fact that you only have 8 seconds to get off those shots, it's just bad.
Okay, well that's we know that they're touching all the supers. We know that they're going to be
Sure. Until I see what they
right?
change, I'm still gonna be like, hey,
You're going to be
what's
salty
up with
as
that?
just
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think
Oh,
that's
okay.
reasonable.
Yeah.
I agree.
I want the throwing knife to be good again too.
Yeah. I don't
That
want to
was one
throw
of the
no
most
rubber
fun
chicken.
parts about being the golden gun.
But
Yeah.
there are relevant supers, or there are relevant exotics for hunters right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you got the Wormhusk if you're playing PvP. That's the main thing. And then you've got
Ophidian aspects for
right.
PV.
Yeah,
for
fitting aspects, Raiden Flux, and then the big giant one-shot golden gun. Like, those are your options.
I mean, every class right now needs all of their exotics touched, but I mean, I agree with you that the Golden Gun Hunter is slacking, but it's nice to see them. I think once we see the classes touched and how they're planning these supers, I think they're planning these exotics to fit into the new supers.
Mhm.
Is what I think they're doing.
That could
So
be.
right now there's kind of some mismatch, right? They don't really look like they fit all that well, but I bet you when we get Forsaken, they're gonna gel a lot better than what we're
The
seeing.
infrastructure will make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
True.
So I'm
Or
hoping.
golden gun's still going to suck. That's
I
possible.
hope
that.
not.
It could be that.
I hope not. How can Golden Gun suck when like
Orpheus.
this expansion is
Sorry.
the Western like cowboy
Exactly.
thing?
It would be even
Yeah.
more of a
And your
travesty
golden gun
if
is, like,
that
your
actually
quintessential.
happened. If it still
Mhm.
sucked, and you're right, it's like the Western feel.
Yeah.
That would be even more. It would be like killing off
If
Gabe.
they
I
make
will be
golden gun
disappointed.
good, it'll feel like a brand new super,
Yeah.
Golden guns are the new fusion rifle from D1.
right? No, they're because
Am I
they were
right?
getting nerfed in Destiny 1 too.
Oh, were they back then? They are the
man.
OG fusion rifle. There are like forever.
Like,
ever.
You're
every
not
time
wrong.
subclasses got touched in Destiny 1,
Huh.
you know what? We're gonna nerf the golden gun. You know what?
Interesting.
Throwing knife is a little strong. You know what? Trip
Tragic.
mines a little
Yep.
strong.
Yeah.
I miss trip mines. Do you want
Yeah.
trip mines?
The unicorn
stick
stick.
people.
That was
Oh.
amazing. Ba-dunk.
Bring it back.
Grenades with skill. Grenades where you had to actually hit things and do things with them. The good old
Now,
days.
you guys want to do Twitter questions?
Are we
One
done with this?
Second, before we do
One
that,
more thing. Wait.
the prestige. The prestige layers.
Oh, right. We didn't even talk.
I didn't do them yet. Did you guys get a chance
Yeah,
to do
Me
them?
either.
Yeah.
I know Pope did it.
Yeah.
Okay. How was it?
Hard. Holy
Good.
Rusted
Yeah.
metal Batman. It was the curated loadouts. Not a huge fan of them, but I understand what they're trying to do.
What was the curated loadout this week?
You had to have a
Pulse rifle,
pulse rifle,
SMG,
kinetic,
and grenade launcher.
well, kinetic pulse rifle, an energy SMG, and a grenade launcher. And so,
What was the
it
perk
really,
also? There was
What's
a
that?
raid modifier as well.
yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head what it was, but
So
What couldn't hold any
understand,
reserve ammo, right?
Yeah, what I understand
Right,
is
so
that you
what-
have to keep on emptying
Oh,
your
arsenal.
weapons, right?
Yeah.
right. So
Yep,
it's
you have to
really
go through
interesting
them.
because you have to use all the ammo out of one gun before the next one has it. So you never have to worry about ammo, first of all, because it's available to you, a full clip. But then once you run out of it, you got to switch to the next gun, and it goes in order. You don't get a choice. So it goes from your primary, secondary, heavy, right? And it goes in that order. So it makes the encounters very difficult because you're having to cycle through your ammo and be really conscientious of the enemy that you're fighting and the distance you are from them. Because the SMG to scout rifle, you're taking off shields with an SMG because it's your energy weapon up close, but then you have this distance kinetic. And so I was rocking Colony, and because Void, and it was, to be honest with you, the pulses that were working best for me were the Crucible pulse. There was the what is it? The
Autumn Wind?
Autumn Wind, and then there was also the one from the trials from Iron Banner that was pretty good. And there's some selections, but if you don't have a lot of those weapons, say for example, you were like all excited about that vault space announcement, right?
You got rid of a
and
bunch
you
of
started going like crazy on your vault space.
Interesting.
Oops. This was an oops for a lot of people, I think, because once I started looking at what the requirements were, the Time War Inspire was good. And so you had to really like look through your inventory and find something up, rank it up, and get the use out of it, because you're using guns that you normally don't use.
I heard real good things. What's the exotic submachine gun, the energy weapon that does the electrical?
Yeah, Risk Runner.
Risk Runner. I heard real good things about that, because when you take arc damage, it does more damage and refills your clip.
Oh, right.
The only difference,
amazing things about that.
The only difference is that the only challenge of that is that there are some really, the Minotaurs have void shields, and so you're at a disadvantage there when you're looking at taking down.
That's in
enemies.
The first one. And the second one, I think it was
right.
more.
So the first one is the one I completed. I didn't get to do the second one. It took longer than I thought it was going to take, but we had a really great Sherpa, a really great team. The WTF guys took me through, and they really helped me pick my loadouts. But it's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of people looking for YouTube videos on how to build up a class for this and how to run it. Because
has Dado made them yet?
Probably. But I'm
Very
telling you,
likely.
Yeah.
it was tough. It was tough, but we were able to do it. And getting all the ornaments, finally getting all the ornaments for my Titan that they've been.
How are the ornaments? Are they worth it?
I gotta tell you, they're a little underwhelming. Like a little, we know what they look like. They didn't really change up the armor that well. It added some paint on them and a little bit of like effect to them. They had glow a little bit.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's not huge, but it does set you apart a little bit with the armor. You still look like like you've been gaining some weight, and your Titan has you're bulbous in all these different areas.
Except for Eater of Worlds.
Got that Michelin man look.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the chess piece for Eater of Worlds for a Titan is the base recipe for the pumpkin. That's where you start.
Yeah.
Yes.
The pumpkin.
Yeah.
The
My
pumpkin
pumpkin Titan. That's where it begins. Everything else is options beyond that.
So the best thing about the raid layers right now is when you complete them at prestige level, you get a 400 drop weapon guaranteed. Okay, and so that's huge. And so here's a little public service announcement.
Why is it huge?
Well, it's huge because you can infuse that into. So this is important to note. You can infuse that into an exotic and get the light level boost.
Right, but in a
you-
month, it's going to be light level 600 is the max.
Well, for right now, it does matter. It affects your, if you're looking for that light level bump, like for example, my guys aren't max light level, but I'm looking to.
Oh wow, that's a huge bump then.
Right. So for me, it was huge, and so I infused it into an exotic, but don't infuse it into you can't infuse it into a legendary. You can't.
No,
it won't let you.
Yeah.
No, I think it'll let you, but it just goes to 385.
Yeah.
So you got to you lose
I don't
that extra
think
15.
it will let you. I think you can do it into an exotic, and then an exotic into a legendary. It will let you, but it won't. It will drop it low light.
Yeah, I thought that's what you meant.
Okay, yeah. So the reason why the rationale for that is because if you didn't purchase the expansions, and if you used it to infuse it and get your light level above a certain number of max light for that without purchasing the expansions, that gun and anything that you infused it into will no longer be available to you.
Right.
Because you'll be above max light, and then that will switch over when Forsaken comes, and you'll no longer be able to use that gun unless you buy the expansion.
Mhm.
So they're kind of using that rule to kind of gate people from making that mistake. But right now it was cool because I got to infuse. I got a grenade launcher and I infused it, and it bumped my light level up huge. It's cool to have, and it's definitely a fun fight.
The way
You
I
need a
understand it
coordinated
is
team,
once
though.
you hit 381, there's nothing you can do to actually gain power in the game though in PvE, right? It's like you're done. You've hit like max level at 381 as far as your actual power goes, as far as doing damage to enemies.
Yeah.
So going up to 400, there's no actual gain there, right?
I thought
You
there
don't do
was
any more
there was a
damage.
scale that went above it to a certain point. To go like if there are 385 enemies, I thought like it would go, isn't it 50 points? And then it feels like if you jump into a patrol and you just some of the enemies just kind of fall over really easily from some certain weapons.
Be interesting. I'd like to see some testing on that because I didn't think there was any scaling after you hit like the max light level.
Yeah, I thought when they
essentially,
talked about
right?
that, when they talked about the redux of changing the delta scaling,
They did recently change it. Too,
yeah, I thought that it accounted for going above to a certain point. Maybe not. Could be wrong.
I know for me, getting
I'd like to see some testing.
that 400 light level gun helped get my characters above 381. So that's
Right.
380.
So
So
that's an option for people if they haven't been chasing after light. But I feel like the majority of people who are going to be doing these prestige layers have well beyond cleared 385 and all their characters.
Yeah.
Like if you're already
That's true.
planning to do prestige, like you've been in that boat where you've had it for a while.
Yeah.
And,
That's true.
And it's going to be tough as well. Cause like I think some weeks are going to be easy, but like this week, it's not easy to jump in and be like, hey, you need to kill this with Colony. I mean, if you're a casual player and you never had Colony drop for you, okay, then you use Play the Game, I guess, or
Is Colony the new
Prospector.
Galahorn?
Colony the what? Galahorn?
New Galahorn?
This week, maybe.
Colony's
That-
pretty important in the Spire.
fills
in-
me
in
with
the-
shame and hurt.
It's an interesting
getting through
thing.
being able
Makes
to
my
fire
heart
off
sad.
being able to fire off all your rounds as a heavy, to be honest with you, spam, like you have a bunch of enemies around you and the Minotaurs and stuff like that. So in the first raid layer, so you just fire off your Colony all the rounds and let them go do their thing
Mm-hmm.
while you're switching to your other gun is a lifesaver. It really is. You just shoot them at your feet and let them run off and go find people.
Go, my minion.
Go!
Yeah.
Kill things, take shields off, because the next thing is your kinetic, right? And so the little spiders run off and they burst shields, and then you're able to use your kinetic to burn them down.
Right.
So
Smart.
it
Smart.
became extremely important.
Yeah.
But the Prospector is great for the next one, the Spire.
Interesting. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't tried it yet.
Prospector is
I've been
pretty
busy making sure I get all my tokens done because I don't want to be at the end of the week and feeling like, oh no, I got to do a bunch of faction grind. So I'm planning on jumping in this weekend to see how that stuff feels.
Same.
Yeah.
I was going to do it today. I just had a headache.
Had a headache. Too many beers.
Still hungover.
Still hungover.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about the weapon system just yet with it. I think a couple 2-3 weeks will be a clearer viewpoint. I know a lot of people are pushing back on it, saying this is not good. But I think it's interesting, to say the least. The 400 gear is a trophy. What was it?
Yeah. Sometimes that's all you can hope for is interesting.
Yeah. They're trying different stuff. I'd rather them try different stuff so we can say it's cool or not.
Yes.
Fun or not.
Was the system that they did with the Taken King broken, though? Like, I felt like that was a pretty good system where they designed the prestige mode or the hard mode first, and then they walked it back to make the normal mode. So, like, there was like new challenges to do. I mean, they weren't the most interesting challenges, but like it was a different experience having to do challenge mode in the raid with Crota, not Crota, Oryx.
Right.
Like,
they had normal, they had heroic, and then they had challenge.
They didn't seem to have to take that into account when they designed this raid, right?
Yeah.
The design philosophy is they started with a complete raid and then
they didn't know where to go, so they decided to limit our weapons to make it harder.
Well, I don't know if
it's interesting. You're right, but I don't know. Like, I kind of prefer the old way, having not played it. So, in all honesty,
the challenge modes, I think, are the way that they set the raids up, the prestige modes for the Leviathan, I think are pretty cool. Making sure that you play the encounter in a different way.
Yeah.
And being able to accomplish that. So you're more of a fan of the technical change.
Yeah.
Challenging the player in a different way of completing an activity, right?
I guess so.
I mean,
don't know.
prestige.
Like, I haven't played the prestige mode for the raid layer, so it's really it's kind of empty for me to prefer one way or the other. Considering I haven't done it.
Same.
I'm not. So it's difficult for. I guess I can put on both hats because to me it was very difficult and challenging, and I think it kind of felt like if you're an advanced raider, right? If you're at that point where you're doing prestige, it kind of feels like the way that Bungie's making the game harder for you is by just tying one hand behind your back.
Right, limitations.
Right? And so that doesn't seem like really all that much fun, right?
What's interesting is that you're not going in there with the optimal loadout, right?
Right.
But it is interesting. I think as we do this 3 weeks, 4 weeks, like as it progresses, I think the community will get louder about like, okay, was this a success or not a success?
And my guess is that the hardcore player is not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
It's almost like it should have been a challenge type of option. Like you have normal, you have prestige, and then you have the option, the challenge. And maybe the option, the challenge would have been everybody does it with a certain loadout. That would have been an interesting angle on it. I mean, I think it's cool to make it change every week because I like the idea of things changing each week in the raid.
I do too.
Yeah, but it seems like forcing. It's like when you have glass on. That's almost always I don't know if I want to do heroic strikes because glass is a modifier and glass sucks. It's like, hey, yesterday you didn't die as fast. Today you die quicker. Yay. You're punished for
I'd like to see. I'm going to play Spire later this week, and I'm just
Spire seems more difficult than Eater of Worlds.
Yeah, it does. It does seem. I know Eater of Worlds was not to put it down. Eater of Worlds, dude. Like when you're defending those plates and those Minotaurs are coming out, and you look. The only way to really DPS the boss is with your super. Okay, so
golden guns.
To be honest with you, I mean, because your guns are just jacked, right? You're not going to have you're not going to be able to do enough DPS. It's really hard to cycle through your guns and do the DPS. So the only way that we were able to build a successful team is by having hammer titans that were able to throw their hammers. Like that was, and do you know that strategy where you have a hunter that produces, the tethers?
Mm-hmm.
They tether the ads at the location where you're going to have to DPS and produce all those orbs, right? So they are sitting there producing all the orbs, and then you do the DPS cycle, and that seems to be the main way that our group was getting through it, and we almost weren't even bothering to shoot at the boss with any sort of gun because it just wasn't viable in the amount of time you had to do DPS.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
Yeah. So it was definitely, having the right loadout the right classes, I don't see people being able to do it very easily without a Night Stalker creating those orbs.
Yeah. I wonder what the modifier
Are you
next
ready?
week is going to be.
Right? Twitter questions?
Twitter question time.
Before we do Twitter questions, can I just say that I forgot to mention somebody else who was at GuardianCon who is a part of my team, and I feel bad, but she wasn't at the booth because she was off getting a tattoo. So
No, it's too late. I'm sorry. You're just not going to be able to do it.
Molly Ann, I love you. But yeah, no. Part of my stream team was also there. We have to get her at the booth next year.
Awesome.
Because she's a delight. So sorry.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Cool.
I'm sure she doesn't feel like left out at all.
She does. She messaged me. It's fine.
That's
Can't
the
believe you
worst.
left me out.
No.
Unbelievable.
You got the why you left me out. Oh no.
No, I shouldn't have, because she's a very essential part of my team. And she's a very, very close friend of mine.
We always hurt the people we love the most.
It's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of GuardianCon, On Air PC gave away 2 PCs live at GuardianCon. He built them and gave them away right at the booth at GuardianCon.
Okay, Briar, he was not on his hands at all during that time.
Yeah, you did
Are
say he was
you
gonna be on his
talking about
hands.
people welching from possible
Yes.
challenges that were presented? Is that
Yes,
the
I
challenge?
am.
Is that
Yes,
the
I
chance?
am.
Is that the hill you're gonna die on right now, Pope?
Maybe not, but I'm just pointing out I saw nobody in a handstand building a PC with their feet, just so you know.
On Air PC is all about helping you get started in streaming, podcasting, or gaming. Let us help you build your dreams today at 330-850-1525. If you're looking to get into streaming, podcasting, or just building a gaming PC, you can give On Air PC a call. They'll walk you through the entire process. You don't have to have any knowledge going into this. You have seen Tefty play in the Church of Unlimited Frames, and you want entry. You want
Bask in
you
the
want your
glory.
Holy Communion. On Air PC can give you that. They can give you the bread.
They're
Yes,
selling the anointment that you need to enter into the church.
absolutely.
That's right. Just give them a call at 330-850-1525. If you're looking to start a new podcast, if you're looking to jump into the world of streaming, these guys can help you out. They can build you a PC that is specifically built to the task at hand at an affordable price. And they are really good at
Yeah.
it. So give them a call. Thank you to On Air PC for your sponsorship of this podcast. And it was great hanging out with you.
Yeah, it was really cool hanging out with him. He's a nice guy.
More than
He
just
sure
their
is.
sponsorship, man. They've become good friends, and it's nice to have a part of the, growing our family a little bit.
Yep.
You know, it's nice to have them on board.
All right. Mr. Good Bites, this one specifically for you, Moon.
Yes.
What is your favorite drinking snake? And also, when will we get a DCP PD podcast crossover week?
My favorite what?
Drink and snake.
Drink and snake.
Mhm.
My favorite drink? Alcoholic drink? Probably gin and tonic. And my favorite snake? Just like the animal? It's probably
Why is
Oh,
she confused
you
by
can choose the one
this?
that pops out of
I don't know. I mean,
Seems like a rational question.
have
to
you
me.
ever seen a rainbow boa?
Huh.
They're like black
No.
and they have like an iridescent rainbow
Wow.
on their scales.
Dig it.
Those are really
Interesting.
pretty. I like those. a lot.
Where it sounds like something lethal that would be in only.
Yeah,
in
how
Australia.
poisonous?
They're not.
I don't
they're,
think boas are poisonous.
Yeah, they're a
This isn't-
boa, so they're a constrictor.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they like to squeeze the life out of you and look in you in the eyes while you're running out of
Yeah,
breath.
and then do the slow digestion. Just the,
Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, those
the
guys.
slow encasing.
Aaron, they literally just cut a woman out of a boa constrictor. Like,
I don't want to hear
No,
about
they
this, Briar. Can we
Really?
not?
Yeah,
For
a
real?
whole person,
Oh,
a whole
That's
person
awesome.
got
That's
swallowed alive. Not alive,
horrifying.
but got swallowed whole
Mhm.
because had been killed by the constricting part of
Nope.
the.
Wow.
That's
nope,
pretty
nope, nope,
awesome.
nope, 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 nope.
Well, you already chose boa constrictors. Too late to turn back.
Oh yes.
Wowzers.
I'm glad I live in a part of the country that doesn't have snakes that big.
Yeah, we have rattlesnakes, but that's about it.
We have garter snakes.
Where do
We used to
boa
have copperheads, but I'm pretty sure they've been hunted.
Where do
to
boa
extinction.
constrictors like? Where's their locale?
The jungle. Jungle.
Tropical mostly.
Yeah, tropical. So
South
Florida.
American.
Some in
There,
Florida.
yeah, actually, it's kind of a
And
big
also in your
problem.
weird
People
neighbor
releasing-
Steve's apartment.
Yeah, people releasing snakes in Florida, pet snakes, and they just get gargantuan and
Of
eat
course
all
they
the
do.
native wildlife. So that's
Yeah.
fun.
Of
Yeah,
course.
that was another good reason to leave Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things in Tampa that are huge and absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
Mosquitoes, snakes, alligators. There's all these things that just are reasons
Humidity.
why humidity,
Swamp ass.
Yep.
swamp ass,
Swamp
huge amounts of swamp ass.
Whamp ass.
Just bring the gold bond, you'll be okay.
It'll all work out.
Rezo Chibi Kim says, "How does your hair stay so colorful and awesome?" I assume
like
she's
it.
talking to me with this question.
Oh yeah.
I use a lot of Head and Shoulders, the 2-in-1 conditioner plus shampoo.
There you go. Assuming that was for me, if it was. Sorry, Briar. Don't want to steal your thunder.
my
but
bad. I'm so embarrassed.
I bleach the shit out of it and I dye it way too much. Don't do it, kids. It's not
You
good for your
bleach
hair.
it to make it turn blue.
No,
It's
I
not-
bleach
it's
it
not
to get
one
my
transition.
real color out. Okay.
Oh.
And then I put the fake, the bright purple over it.
Wait, that's not your actual
not
hair
real?
color?
I know, shocking, right? Totally.
All of a sudden,
Totally.
having her on the podcast was just not so special. I thought she was.
We all have our
natural blue
secrets,
hair.
Briar. Come on.
It makes sense that you have to bleach it, but I never considered that you'd have to. The intermediate step of bleaching never occurred to
You
me.
thought there was a 2-in-1,
Yeah.
just like Head
and
and Shoulders.
it fucks up your hair like real good. Mm-hmm.
Does it?
Yeah. Oh yes, yes, it absolutely does.
Ian Barrett says, "Has Moonvald considered just using reskins of the DCP team in true Destiny 2 fashion?"
I'm going to print off masks of
I
everybody's
just thought that was
faces.
funny. 'Cause Destiny 2.
Yeah. I do like it. That's a good one.
Jeff McLean says, "I remember the sad announcement that PD was disbanding, but then noticed the podcast came back. Then saw YouTube stuff. Never heard official talk that it was back. What happened there?"
Oh, there was talk. We released a video and everything, and there was mention of it on Twitter. So maybe it just went under the radar for some reason.
What
But
was
we
the
did
date
definitely
of
announce
that?
it.
Do you know? Maybe
Oh
we
no,
can
I
look it
don't
up on
remember
YouTube?
exact dates. No. But we had a whole video on YouTube, everything, because we wanted people to know that we were back. Yeah.
Look in the YouTube history on Planet Destiny. They probably got it there.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
there somewhere.
Or probably in the Twitter history of many Planet Destiny staff members.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to keep up to date with what we're doing, definitely follow the Twitter because I tweet out from the PD Twitter all the time.
Awesome.
Is it the same Twitter as it used to be, or is it new?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
the same one.
Destiny
Yeah,
News _
you
net.
got the password.
Yeah. I
Got the
did.
keys.
I had to pry it from
Yeah.
somebody's cold dead hands.
I'm really surprised that you got it.
No, trust me, I was very loud and very annoying until people
Mhm.
gave me what I needed. So
Good. It's one of the ones I follow now. It's good.
oh yeah.
Protheon says Destiny 2 was supposedly delayed a year, which is why we got Rise of Iron. With that said, do you think Forsaken will be the last major expansion of Destiny 2? Will 2019 have Destiny 3, or will we have another year of Destiny 2?
This is a
We already
giant,
got the.
giant question mark because I
Yeah.
personally hope that D2 has a 3 or 4 year lifespan on it because this game has suffered heavily from shifting
Enough.
from a D1 to a D2 type of thing. And it's it hurts the community. People are like, why take away stuff and redo it and have some sort of twist from a designer's perspective that they think this is better for the game when clearly they had things that were in place that were working. And I don't want D3 to suddenly be like, hey, we threw this together because Activision wanted to pay out and it's half baked. Please God, no.
How many updates have we gotten that just restored functionality that we used to have in Destiny? We're still getting them. 1.2.3.
60 to 70% of the first year of D2 has been, hey, let's put this back in the game because we took it out from D1.
Can you imagine what Destiny 2 would be like if we didn't have that course correction to make?
It'd be
And the amount of man hours that have gone into the course correction, what D2 would have been like. I mean, it hurts my soul to think about that.
we'd have the same amount of complaints because that's not going anywhere.
Of
They would
course.
just be about specific things about that people hate. like some sort of gun that's overpowered in the Crucible.
Okay.
They'll find something. They always find something.
There's always something.
They always do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Brian says,
I personally hope that D3 doesn't come out in a year.
yeah, I hope they get time to develop like a fully featured and complete product.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't know if I can hang with Destiny 2 for 4 years. Like they got to make some major changes.
But what if they keep on evolving it, man?
No, that's what I'm thinking.
Just keep expanding and making things cool and bringing back parts of D1 along with the new like Forsaken 2.0 type of stuff. Like that's what they should have done with D1 is just kept on building and iterating. And then people have been like, oh my God, this is incredible. That's why Warframe is getting even better every year because they keep taking the
I was just
platform
about to give that example.
and they keep fixing things that people didn't like and putting new stuff in there and innovating. And now they got like
space battles.
Yeah, they got space battles coming and they've got like tons of Warframes and so much content for a new player to go into. That it
the thing though,
it can be overwhelming.
Is that with Destiny 2 is there's certain things that are intrinsic to the way the game plays that are just less fun than Destiny 1.
But they're changing a lot
like
of
the
that.
movement speed of Guardians,
Apparently
the time
that's
to
the
kill in
same.
the Crucible. What's that?
Apparently the movement speed is the same. They said that on.
It doesn't feel the same.
No, they said on Twitter.
Well,
I don't care what they say on Twitter. It doesn't feel the same.
You're wrong.
I mean, my
it's okay to
hunter
be
feels
wrong.
significantly slower than it did in Destiny 1. with
maybe
the
you're
Bones
just
of Via.
older and your reaction speed's slower.
Wouldn't that make things feel faster?
I don't know. I was just trying to fit an old joke in.
You want
I
to
get
talk,
you.
Pope?
It didn't work. It was a bad joke.
I thought it was good. There's people out there laughing right now.
Oh.
I'm checking chat. Nope, nobody laughing.
D1 definitely feels
Sure.
better. When we played it in the charity stream, I was like, man, these weapons feel better. 100%. They need to bring that feeling back.
Yeah.
There are things that I miss for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Florida
the
Gator
feel of
Melees
hand cannons on a
Feel
controller.
better. Yeah.
There's lots of laughing happening right now, Brian.
Mhm.
Now they're laughing at you, not with you.
No.
Next question. Brian says, I'm trying to get hyped for Forsaken and trying to stay with Destiny, but it's becoming hard. Those of you who went to the summit, I almost asked Brian to ask this question next week when I knew Watts would be on. But Pope, Moon, did you go to the summit?
No.
Okay, so Pope, you're the only one who's gone to the summit. I might ask the question
Everyone.
again next week when Watts
Okay,
is here.
do that
actually.
because I definitely won't answer as well as Watts will.
No, I wanted two people's opinions instead of just one.
Yeah. Also, we want
No,
an
that's
opinion
what-
of somebody who doesn't go back on things that they promised on. And here we are, they didn't do them yet. So that'd be better.
Wow. That hurt.
Owen Spence says, question for Moonvald. How did she get...
What was the summit question? You said you wanted to read it.
No,
No, I
he
said
says he's
I
going to
was
wait
gonna
down
read it
next
next
week.
Do you want to answer it, Pope? Are you going to get mad if I don't
No, I'm
answer
not
the
going to
question?
answer. I don't have that kind of
Those
petty-
of you who are at
Yes.
the summit, so Pope, what insight can you offer now that the NDAs are up that would make this disgruntled Destiny 1 veteran excited for Destiny 2 again?
Oh man. I'd like honestly that's a kind of a tough answer, and I'd like to have Watts here with me to answer it correctly.
Okay.
Owen
You
Spence
guys have
says,
to deal
question
with
for
all the time?
Moonvald,
Yes.
who hopefully won't waste our time. How did she get into poetry, and how many years has she read it for?
I got into poetry in high school. This is in reference to a project I'm doing with some guys that were working on the fan thing for Music of the Spheres and also Bife. But I have been reading poetry since high school because most high schools in the United States will do this like poetry out loud competition type thing. And you can go to like a state level and a national level in a competition. So that's when I really got into it and really started exploring different authors and different poets and things like that. And it's a medium I really like to.
I gotta say your video was awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank
That
you so
video
much.
with Bife, I mean that was very well produced.
Yeah.
I was listening to it thinking, man, you guys put a lot into like your emotion into it. The reading of it was very well. Can you tell us a little bit about that video, like how you guys put it together and the genesis of it?
Yeah, so that poetry all was auxiliary material for the Music of the Spheres before, D1 had that whole thing with the music. And it was written by Malcolm Geet, I think is how you say his name. I've actually never spoken to him in person, regrettably. But it was all supposed to go along with all that Destiny music. And when they were putting together the Music of the Spheres stuff as a fan project, but they canned it, obviously, because Bungie released the real, compositions for Music of the Spheres. They wanted to do a little project where we read all of this poetry, and there is 7 poems that will be released. So that's just the first of 7 videos. Yeah.
It's cool.
Cool.
I'm pretty excited for the rest of them.
Very cool.
Have you guys already recorded them, or are you?
Yes, we have. I have to go back and do some ADR stuff, but
Is that on Planet Destiny channel?
no, it's on actually one of the producers, Mbline. If you look him up on YouTube, it's going to be on his channel.
Cool.
Pretty sure I retweeted it, but I'll
Yeah.
we'll definitely connect it if to people in chat if they want to watch it. But it's definitely
Thank you.
impassioned and something that you can, it kind of reminds me of when you get the lore community involved with a project or like this kind of background of Destiny, it's what brings it context and meaning.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. I like
It's that
that.
emotion that's one of the things that's most important to me about being part of the Destiny community, is that kind of artistic, like more feeling side of things, as opposed to mechanics or semantics of how a game works. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it was really good to partake in a project that allowed for expression of that sort of thing.
It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Flip the Giant asks, question for Teft and Briar, which has more value, a day 1 Midnight Coup or a glorious 405 prestige only Midnight Coup?
Day 1, 100%.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Tefty.
Yeah.
Day 1, like OG vanilla Destiny 2, before everybody knew the Midnight Coup was the most glorious thing in the game.
Masterworks were a twinkle in the coup's eye.
Mhm.
Yeah. No,
Not
that's
even Masterworks hadn't even mentioned
No.
yet. They couldn't even count my 2,000 kills with it in the Crucible.
exactly. Just 2,000?
I think it's 2,000 in the Crucible.
Oh, right. Crucible. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I love that everybody could have just bought that gun from the vendor.
That
I love
is
how that
a
kind of gets
great
under your skin.
value gun. That's a great value knockoff. Smells like swamp ass.
It's like a
Midnight
made in
Coup.
China version of the Midnight Coup.
Yeah. You can never get
It
the smell
looks
off
like
of
a
it.
Midnight Coup, but like it's actually not.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's perfect.
It's like getting a knockoff iPhone.
Basically. It's very close to that. Yeah.
Evo 7744 says, "Are you worried the time to kill is too slow and people are going to complain about constantly being killed by shotguns and fusions over and over?" Yes, Evo, I am concerned about
That
this.
is basically what's going to happen if they don't adjust time to kill for the primaries. People will default to the fastest way to kill people, and that's what's going to happen. Like we're going to have a season of shotguns and snipers.
Yes.
Oh
I
boy.
agree.
That's how it is.
Shotties
Prepare
and
for it.
snipers. Oh boy.
Yeah, unless they change the time to kill. But like I know that they said they wanted to wait until the last minute. I personally think they're going to err on the safe side, get people excited about things that are happening in Forsaken, and not worry about changing the stuff in the Crucible for that until later.
Paladin AF says, looking back at the last 10 years and the incredible progress gaming has made in our society, what are your hopes and dreams for gaming in the next 10 years, either personally or professionally?
That there's less of a stigma around it, that it like causes mental illness or anything like that. That's kind of cleared up, because it's never been true, but people still like to push that.
It's like
sort
global
of-
warming. Like the scientists will all tell you exactly what the fuck is up, but anybody with a political agenda will just lie.
Yeah.
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 I'm hoping that because of the popularity and the growth and the presence of video games as an industry, that we start seeing more games have the quality and narrative scope of like movies that we start seeing that kind of level of storytelling that you can get in video games. Every once in a while one comes through and you're like,
it's rare.
Wow, that's amazing. The Last of Us. Oh wow, everybody talks about it. There's these games that you play and they're like, but I'm hoping that the magic of movie making in Hollywood makes it to the industry that's extremely profitable, right? And you start getting that level of storytelling.
There's been like blips on the radar of that. Like Uncharted 2 strikes me as one of those. Like you said, Last of Us was one of those. God of War, I would say.
God of War was big for a lot of people this
close.
year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, Detroit Become Human was extremely cinematic and painted that type of picture. I felt like I was watching and playing a movie that had consequences in it. Like it was really well done. I was surprised. I didn't think I was gonna like Detroit Become Human. And then after having a whole playthrough, I was like, that was amazing. I felt emotionally connected to the characters and felt awful when I killed them and interested in other pathways, even though I didn't give it a second playthrough. And God of War was an experience. Definitely an experience. Like that was extremely well done. Like from the voice acting to the way it was telling a story and the
gameplay.
Yeah, just the gameplay, like the whole experience combined felt incredible in that. Like
there's no weak spot of that game that I
I
could point to.
Like I would like to see, I want to see progression in gaming and all that, but I also don't want it to get to a point where like the charm goes away. It's tough to define exactly what this is, but like
Interesting.
After a certain point, when you go for all this hyper realism, there's something lost in there, and video games have normally been an escape, and they need to make sure that they balance whatever kind of realism they put in there with the fact that you're creating an escape for people to share experiences with. And I hope
the little nuances and imperfections.
Schindler's List was an amazing movie, but if every movie was Schindler's List, I wouldn't go to the movies.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's a good example. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball to see where things could possibly go, but like I want amazing developers to do their best work in projects and not have. Actually, I know what I want to see in the future. I want to see publishers have less of a heavy hand in making sure things like a Destiny 2 gets released, as opposed to having the best version of it get released. That's really what I want to see in the future.
That's
not going to happen.
A fairy tale, right?
Yeah,
there.
it is. It's a fairy tale. But that's honestly what I'd like to see, because
that's the wish list thing,
the best versions of games get released when they have the control, when they have the power. Warframe has that ability. They can put out the content that they want to do because they're controlling it. That they want to put that. They could have put out a Warframe 2 in years ago, but instead they kept iterating and building
When did that game get actually released? Was it 2013?
Like 2013, 2012, 2013, something like that.
Nobody played it, but I mean, it didn't seem like it really.
It had a rocky start.
Yeah, I played it when it launched because it was a launch game on PS4, a free-to-play launch game on PS4. Yeah. So of course I checked it out because there's like 5 games available. And I used to do a podcast back then called Beastly Thoughts. And one of the guys that I did that podcast with got real big into it right off the bat. But I mean, that game was rough at the launch.
Yeah. And it shows sticking with it and taking the good and keep on developing, and not having a publisher being like, you haven't produced this amount and we're going to cut you. Like, we're going to sue you or cut you out or whatever if you don't like hit this deadline. Like, that is not producing great content.
No.
It's an interesting dichotomy between like the big publishers and the platform holders. Like the platform holders, well, at least Sony and Nintendo actually seem to be able to pay money for games that are like showpieces and like sell consoles, right? They can make the God of Wars, they can make the Zeldas, they can make these like incredibly rich single player experiences that gamers just love. But like the Activisions and the EAs of the world and the Ubisofts to some extent are trying to make these like these platforms, right? Like games that you just keep playing and playing and playing because it's much easier to develop DLC for a game and microtransactions for a game than develop new games every 3 to 4 months, right? That's why we see far less games come out per year than we used to see 10 years ago. But every game is like, a game as service, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting transition that's happening right now, and like it'll be like every game can't be a service because not every game, you don't have time for that, right?
Yeah.
How many Warframes, Destinies, Divisions, Anthems? How many of these games do people have time for? But if you get a God of War, you got time for a God of War, and the next month you got time for a Zelda, and the next month you got time for,
I think
an Uncharted.
That comes down to how good it is. If God of War wasn't as good, I would have dropped it within the first 5 hours.
Yeah. I mean,
Legend
of Zelda, there's lots of places where you can just stop playing the game and never go back to it, right? And the story just compels you to come back and play and spend time in that universe. I mean, people could beat it a lot faster than they do, but they go back and they do the puzzles and they go back and they play it over and over again. I mean, the game is so cool. But yeah, I don't know what the recipe is. I think there's different genres for games, and I still like to see the indie side scrolling or the indie developed games come out.
I was just playing a game on Switch called Bloodline. I can't remember. I think it's Curse of the Moon or something. It's basically like another take on Castlevania. I think Castlevania 2.
Bloodstained?
Just came out for the Switch. Bloodstained? Blood something. Bloodline?
Is it like heavy metal?
No. It's very Castlevania.
No, I mean, is there music, heavy metal in there and all
that? To be honest with you, I usually play it with the TV on.
He's asking how edgy it is.
Yeah.
It looks like Castlevania 2. Like, imagine playing Castlevania 2.
Okay.
It was actually the Kickstarter. They're trying to make like another Symphony of the Night type game.
Okay.
But not made by Capcom, right?
Right.
Just in that style. And this was a Kickstarter goal. A milestone of their Kickstarter is they'd release like this Castlevania 2 style game.
Nice.
Interesting. I'm sure I'm fucking up some of the facts there, but it's Bloodstained, yeah.
Yeah.
Curse of the Moon. Chat always gets it right.
They're
for me,
than us.
My hopes and dreams for gaming in the next 10 years are definitely revolve around VR and AR, like augmented reality and virtual reality. Like that, to me, there's no doubt this is the way forward. I cannot wait to get the next generation of headset from HTC and from Oculus. What Oculus is showing right now is eye tracking and much better resolution in the headsets, and to be immersed in these worlds as opposed to staring at these worlds on a monitor in front of you. It's so immersive, it's so fun. And the future of AR being in the world you are, but also having it augmented by a video game. Imagine playing Call of Duty in your neighborhood. Right? How fun would that be? Running around in your neighborhood, oh my God, there's so many.
Sounds like a good way to get arrested.
Yeah, I'm gonna push back there. There's that sounds like a good way of getting shot by the police.
Yeah.
Jumping through somebody's yard and with a
sounds exhausting.
Yeah. Too much running, too much sweating.
Look, AR and VR to me is the way forward. VR feels like it's very much in its infancy right now. You can play a game I think it's called Standout, which is basically PUBG in VR. It's so much more immersive than playing PUBG on a TV screen. You just the tension and the you sweat out every time you peek around a corner. You're this could be it, because you feel in real danger as opposed to you're playing a video game. And for now, as long as that immersion lasts, before we get anesthetized to that level of immersion, it's really cool. And I feel in the next 10 years, I'd really like to see that progress.
Do you think we're going to get to a Ready Player One type world?
Yes, absolutely.
You think we're going to get there?
Really?
Yes.
Eventually, it's going to be the line is going to be so thin or non-existent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already headed in that direction, at least in my opinion, but that's where it seems to be going. So
I just don't know if the full-on headset is ever going to be fully adopted as the main way to game, honestly. unless there's some sort of augmented thing where you have to set up like an 8x8 space that fully realizes visuals for you without wearing a headset. I just don't think that's gonna like be the main way and take over.
I think the headsets will get smaller, more convenient. You know, like eventually the headsets will look like glasses. You know, right? It's like these things aren't going to be these bulky, huge contraptions forever that are tethered to a $3,000 computer and need, you know, these base stations mounted on walls. You know, like the technology will improve and theoretically pretty rapidly. I don't know if it'll happen in 10 years, but like inevitably, like this technology is going to get smaller, lighter, faster.
Yeah, I feel like it has a long ways to go before it's going to be anything that is adopted in terms of like the Activision selling 10 million copies for a game or something like that.
Yeah. Well, we're at the early stages. We'll have to wait and see, but it is promising technology.
From an educator standpoint, though, Briar, like the opportunities to travel and go all over the world with in virtual reality, it's just.
Have you done Google Maps, Pope, in VR?
I've done not Google Maps, but I've done.
Or I'm sorry, Google Earth. My bad.
Not Google Earth, but I've done museums throughout the world have like a robot. It's like you know, one of those little 2-wheeled things that you ride.
Yeah, I've seen them.
But instead, it has like
an iPad on them.
And you can control them remotely, and you can drive around the museum.
Pope, in Google Earth, you can fly like Superman anywhere around the world, and it's all mapped out in 3D by Google. Right, so like using satellite imagery as well as Street View, you can fly to the house you grew up in and walk around the neighborhood. You can fly to the Empire State Building and stand on the tippity top and look down, and it gives you vertigo. You can fly to the Taj Mahal and just walk around like a tourist. Like you can go anywhere in the world, and like the important places, a lot of places, any place that they've had Google Street View cars go through, are all modeled in 3D.
Crazy.
It is out. It's a stunning thing.
And that makes sense for VR. Education, information, and communication.
Porn.
Those things and porn.
Thank you.
Those things make sense for VR. Playing something like Call of Duty is a motion sickness hazard for VR. Like,
yeah, you get used to it so quick though. I played Resident Evil 7 in VR. And it was a mind-blowing experience. Like it was, you know, the spoiler, but there's a part where your hand gets chainsawed off.
Whoa.
That was my fucking hand. Like I was the one, and like it was incredibly visceral.
Yeah. I hear you. I don't
I'm not
think
sure if I'd like that or not. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to take over like the mainstream stuff until there's a huge leap in the type of technology that it has. Because if you have to,
they
strap on,
need leaps.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. I completely agree. They need like a huge technology leap, and then they're also going to have to train people, just like they did with 3D gaming. 3D gaming hit like when Doom came out, and when Duke Nukem came out. There's a huge problem with people getting sick playing those games because you look at the screen and it just make you motion sick, and that's very much a problem.
Have you ever had like your parents or friends of yours that don't play video games sit down and play a video game? Like,
yeah, my wife has done it, and my mother has come over and done it. And my mother, I put her in the PSVR, and she did the shark demo. It's like a demo disc that comes with it, where you're in a shark tank, and they just keep dropping you further and further down.
I've done that. Yeah. That's a fun demo.
She loved it. She was like, "Holy shit, that's something else, man!" Like that.
All those VR. I'm really susceptible to motion sickness, and all those VR stuff do give me them.
You get used to it. You can build up like a tolerance to it.
Okay.
And then you can also like help yourself out by eating like ginger beforehand, or taking like what's it called, dextrine or
Dramamine.
Dramamine, yeah.
Stuff like that. But you build up like a tolerance to it over time too.
I chew those things like Skittles when I'm on a boat.
I still get motion sick with regular games. Like I couldn't finish Titanfall 2, even though I really wanted to.
I get motion sick when I play Destiny on PS4 now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the frames.
Yeah, there's different types of motion sickness. Some is like the frames type, or having the choppy motion makes you motion sick. Some is the movement with it being very fast, regardless of however many frames. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Field of view, how like close you are to the frame, or sitting back, and
I'd love to have the idea, the concept of a Ready Player One type world, where you can, like meets Westworld, where there's like these places, these thematic parks that you can go to and, relive be a soldier in Gettysburg, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's just historical events, important times, periods in our past, and then also just in the future. Just think about
think about it in terms of like the platform. If you're on Sony and you're, instead of clicking on the icon for the game for Destiny, you're walking in to the world. Like that's like the concept.
There's a game called Super Hot. I think it's available
Uh-huh.
for just about everything, like PSVR and it's also available as just a desktop game. But it's like you're in the Matrix, right? It's like you are literally, you can slow down time based on how fast you move. When you warp to new areas of the level, you could throw yourself a gun and then catch it in midair and start shooting people. Like you really feel like you're in the Matrix. Like it feels, it's got a feeling like you've never felt so cool and looked so dumb from the outside in your entire life. Like it's amazing.
I like the idea that they explore in Ready Player One of having pressure suits where you feel elements of the game world, and being able to be suspended and having like that multi-directional treadmill. Those kind of ideas of having that immersiveness of the game world.
Yeah.
I mean,
sounds like you could break a leg easily.
No, they have these. You can buy them. It's like a plastic. It's like almost like the bottom of a ball, and you wear like socks or like slippy shoes, and you just walk like normally, but your feet are just kind of sliding across a smooth surface.
I see. Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah, I think
games like Onward or something where Onward is like a Counter-Strike style game where you just use a control pad to like move yourself like you would in a normal game.
Yeah.
And that causes motion sickness at first because your body doesn't feel like it's moving, but you start moving. So that takes some getting used to.
Yep.
Pedro Mosquito says, "Hi DCP crew, including the new Catalyst. What are your top 3? I assume exotics. Mine are number 1, Crimson. Number 2, Sunshot. Number 3, V-Wing. My number 1 is without a doubt the boot cannon. That thing,
that was going to be my answer.
It's and when you get the catalyst for it, you get 7 shots for it. You never have to load it. That's probably its biggest weakness before the catalyst was you had that long reload. But oh my god, in PvE, it's amazing because it allows you to do so much damage, right? And in PvP, it's just so fun. Like it's unbelievably fun.
It's so mean. It's just so mean.
Like the best is when somebody's jumping at you and you boop them and then just watch them float off the map.
Yeah. My favorite is when like a striker titan will come running at me and you just boop them and they're like, oh.
They kind of stand there with like a shocked look at their face.
Yeah.
Like
good. It's fantastic.
I think I got to go with Polaris Lance. The thing, like, it just tops it off, makes the gun just perfect. Given a Dragonfly, I love it.
That is really good.
I'm not. God, I've been playing around with so many right now. The Cabal. Why am I spacing on the
Skyburners off?
Skyburners.
Lazy Burners Day. It's awesome.
It's great. I love how the different projectiles have very different feeling uses to them, and the way that the projectiles fire. The gun feels unique and situational and powerful.
The Sunshot, I really like getting that extra range, but I still feel like that gun just needs a bigger clip to it. It
needs something at least, but bigger clip would help.
Yeah. The ammo's a bit of a problem. It feels great though. Those shots that you do get feel fantastic.
I can imagine it would feel better on PC. I don't play on PC, but
feels pretty good on
You
PC.
should totally do it. It's so fun.
I know. I'm a broke bitch, Briar.
Oh, just steal. It's fine.
Yeah. Who wants to send me a PC?
Zach Phillips says, Would you guys like to see a new class, or do you prefer that Bungie adds new subclasses and subclass trees?
New class.
Yeah, I'm with Moon. I'd like to see a new class.
Something new, something fresh, innovative, creative. I don't know.
So instead of a hunter, warlock, and titan, like something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool. That like do something to the lore. You know, screw it.
Nah,
Screw that stuff.
I want to see.
They reset the lore in Destiny 2 anyway.
Yeah, it was folklore.
I want
It's
to
fine.
see us be able to play, like I've said this before, one of their fallen captains or something like that. One of the enemy races.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be pretty cool.
Play as an Elixni. That's like my dream. I love the Fallen.
I want a heavy lore DLC for the Elixni. I really do. I want like a really like the way we've gotten it for the Vex and for the Fallen or for the
Taken.
You know, like I want something that really goes in depth on not Rise of Iron with like just the Siva shit. I want like real Elixni stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Could learn about their history, like the Whirlwind and the Traveler.
I think there will be a little bit with the Forsaken, but I'm worried that it'll just be about these barons and not go in depth about like, you know, kind of their history and stuff.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. They're my favorite enemy race. So,
Evan Meyer says, "What's your thoughts on the whole Warframe killed Destiny 2 talk?"
A lot of people like to go back and forth between this is bad and so on and so forth. They're like, who cares? They're different games. They're
apples and oranges.
Apples and oranges. They got space, they've got some magic, and they've got some ninjas in there. That's about where the comparisons are drawn. Like, they are different games. They serve different needs. Making direct comparisons and saying one is better than the other will just get people pissed off. If you're prone to pissiness, stay away from that conversation. It's not needed.
Just stay away from Twitter in general.
Yeah. It's a dumb conversation. Like, I'm sorry, just people like to compare that stuff all the time, and it's like you're going to just get yourself angry. Do you want to go about your day and get angry? No.
Yes.
If you
Some
do,
people
then great.
Definitely do.
If that is actually your goal,
good Skype day or a bad Skype day?
you know, if you find yourself at the end of the day going to bed being like, God damn, I'm so pissed off because you got into a conversation about that
today.
then you need to hit the brakes and stop getting into those arguments. It doesn't help anything. They're two different games.
Yeah. Live your life, fam. You'll be a lot happier.
Yeah.
So with that being said, it's interesting that Destiny as a game as a platform or a game as a service is going to face increasingly more and more competition over the next couple of years, right? We've got Warframe, which is just getting better and better and better. We got the Division 2 coming out. We've got Anthem coming out, and most of these games are really going to give Destiny competition in the PvE arena, right? None of them really seem to be addressing the PvP arena that Destiny, also has. But, gamers have a specific amount of time to play video games, and, if a gamer gets heavily involved into Warframe or Anthem or Division 2, that probably means they're going to spend less time with Destiny 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it is an interesting conversation. Like as Warframe gets better, is it pulling people away from Destiny 2? That very well could be the case.
Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a complex game to get into in the first place, so it's not for everyone. The movement can be too fast for some people, but like just the direct comparisons are soul crushing. It's like, man, Hearthstone is so great. Why do people play Destiny?
Yeah.
It's like, no thanks. No thanks on that opinion.
Warlock, anybody else? Nothing?
No.
Warlock 3 asks, I've been a long time listener of the podcast. I like listening every week, but unless the guest is particularly interesting or appeals to me, I don't really find myself replaying the episode, assuming that you listened to it one time. What are some things you could do to add longevity and replayability to your archives? Oh, this is an interesting question that I'd never thought about before.
I think Nick would have to go in and insert pieces of audio that would have to be played backwards to assemble a puzzle each week. Sounds very difficult.
A little
We'll do a
podcast
giveaway.
ARG
Yes.
type thing.
Yes, an augmented game. Augmented reality game in the podcast each episode. Not it. I'm not doing it. That sounds complex.
Right?
Not my job.
The interesting thing about like our podcast is we do have guests on. So if you're interested in, a guest point of view, you can go back and listen to the guest interview. But like the main portion of the show is usually news. And no matter what news podcast you're listening to, the news is basically irrelevant by, a week later, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going back and listening to, you're not watching old broadcasts of CNN, like you're interested in current news.
Yeah.
So, I think it's just it's a product. It's one of the things I've thought a lot about at YouTube too, is like focusing a channel on news about Destiny. You have a lot less long tail than say, I used to do headset reviews a lot, and those things still get 100,000 views a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those things are 4 or 5 years old.
Wow.
So it's like it's a different kind of content. It's not necessarily a people aren't going to search for what was the Destiny news of March 31st. Nobody gives a shit.
I think the format of this podcast is what makes it successful. Isn't so much. I think it's just the hosts, like in our conversation, and then the dynamic that the guest brings in every week.
Yeah,
it's to me.
Sorry about it.
I think that what makes this fun for us is getting a chance to talk to people and bring them in and hear their stories and what they contribute to the show, to the topic. Destiny is almost like a side. Destiny almost feels like a side reason that we're getting together. And a lot of the people in the audience and a lot of the fans almost feel like family at this point. They're not even, a lot of them aren't even playing Destiny anymore. So, a good chunk of them are, but there's some that just show up just to hear what's going on with us, So I don't know, the replayability piece. I think that's for people that just want to find out what funny and weird stuff we're talking about this week.
What's Holt's been doing this week?
I mean,
little compilation.
I don't want to mess with our format really. I feel like I enjoy coming on, and I'm excited to see you guys every week and to talk. And as long as that always satisfies me and us, that we're all like excited to be here. If we were dragging, that's when I would consider changing it. Views are not what is a driving. A lot of people drive their content by the views, and I think that's the wrong way to look at it. We drive our content, but what makes us happy and what we enjoy doing, because ultimately we got to get together every week and talk to each other. And if it's not fun, we're not doing it. And it's not, and then it doesn't come out as a good product. So that's the way I approach that answer, is that we would change or consider changing our content if and when we felt like we were not having as much fun doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a topical news show is never going to have like great longevity as far as like replayability goes. It's just the nature of the content. But it was an interesting question. It is good. It was worth thinking about. Dreadnought says, what's the number one reason that comes to your mind if you find out that Briar or Pope got arrested, or any of the DCP crew?
Briar was super drunk, got like pretty rude out in public.
Indecency.
Pope.
Rude? When have I ever been rude to anybody? I'll let the drunk thing go though.
Pope got into a fist fight, got arrested. Mm-hmm.
Pope got mistaken for Buck the pedo that lives down the street until he shaved his mustache off.
Oh, no.
I would probably like. I don't have I have a pretty long fuse. It's hard for it to get me angry.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, 54 bullets. Long fuse.
I do.
That's how I think of Pope.
It was 54 bullets though. Like, I mean, let's be serious. That's a lot of bullets. Nah, I don't know. I would probably, if I got arrested, it would probably be in the defense of Briar, as he's making an ass of himself in the bar and gets himself into a fight. I would get into it.
I don't need your help.
Yeah, you would need my help.
Briars.
You wouldn't hit shit. You would be swinging at the freaking wall and hit somebody's girlfriend, and then they would start kicking your ass, and then I would have to deal with them. Then we would get arrested.
Yeah, I think Briar's blitz drunk and he's pantsing people and teabagging them at the same time.
That's
or
right.
following them up with a teabag.
That
I'm trying to
amazing.
And I'm trying to get Briar out of the bar, and somebody takes a swing at him, and then I get in the fight, and then we're arrested.
There it is. Damn, that's like
what's happening.
just saw the future right there, guys.
Zabe asks, flushable wipes, yes or no?
Yes,
Yeah.
Flushable.
it's the
Obviously.
next level. For a hairy man, it's the next level.
Okay.
What's
I
that?
used to be a big believer in the flushable wipes, and then I had my septic cleaned.
Why don't
I realized that even though they say they're biodegradable,
They are not.
they are not.
If you're on a septic tank, yes, that's bad. If you're on a city sewer,
So I am on a city sewer, but they actually clogged the pipe that goes out to the street.
what?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe I should reconsider.
And then the sewage plant also has a major problem with them as well, because they
I didn't know that.
yeah they really do not biodegrade like toilet paper does, which
That's
makes
good to
sense
know.
considering they deliver them wet.
Right?
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, honestly, I
That's a good point.
I don't really use wipes. I wash my hands with soap.
No. Well, I don't think that's what we're talking about, Tefty.
Well, right? I mean, like, what else to use?
Well-
a wipe is you want to shortcut a trip to the bathroom and have to wash your hands, right?
No.
No?
No, you're definitely still washing your hands after you use a wipe.
Yeah, you're
We're
dropping.
talking about
One
as a
number
replacement for toilet paper, like a wet sanitary napkin.
No, definitely not. I would not.
What?
I wouldn't. No, I'm using regular toilet paper.
Dude, Tefty, it's next level, bro. You need to get step. You need
He has
to
to
understand.
experience it first.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send.
And
I'm gonna
then you
send
should drink a 6-pack and throw the rings into the ocean,
That's right.
and possibly use aerosol deodorant.
Can I like fire up like a coal furnace at the same time?
Oh, now you're
all
thinking.
of that. All of that. All of those reasons.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've never used a wipe to do my business. I've always used toilet paper.
Try it.
You know what? It's
Sean-
bad for the environment. No, thank you. Go for it, Brian. Next question.
Sean Hamlin says, "You guys are doing a DCP calendar. What month and theme would you do? Nudity is optional."
It's optional.
I don't know. I guess I'm in March, because that's my birthday, and probably some sort of leprechaun hat, and that's it.
I will one up you on March.
Okay, because
I will
we
be-
share the same birthday. Right?
I will have the Irish leprechaun hat
Sure.
on the ground next to my passed out body, passed out in a pool of green beer.
Green beer?
I don't think
Wow.
people are buying
Gross.
the calendar. I don't.
You never had green beer at St. Patty's Day?
Oh, copious amounts. Yeah.
But swimming in it and bathing in it.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
No, it's like I passed out.
Yeah. He's staging a scene.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. No, that's acceptable.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do Santa Claus, and I'll use that spray on like white beard stuff. I'll do Santa Claus.
You can tell the kind of questions that get Briar excited. He thought about this at the time.
I love it. That's great.
I don't know.
Tefty, I think you're I don't know, man. Like you've got to be somewhere around, Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah?
Yeah, you memes,
Sure. Okay.
crushing chicken
Strawberries.
fantasy.
No.
Yeah.
It'd be two plane tickets to Hawaii. And a box of chocolates. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's what it is. Sherry's berries.
Sure.
Sherry's berries in February.
What month calendar would you be in, and what would be the pose?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm a December baby, but I feel like December always gets like the shit end of the stick because it has to be Christmas themed, right? So-
You can break the mold.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
it's a summer in December somewhere.
I don't know. Maybe just buried in snow, like up to my neck.
There you
That's the
go.
pose.
Snowed in.
That's what I feel like in the winter.
With gnomes
Yeah.
around you, like they've captured you, and they're like,
Yes. I like
"We've
it.
caught her."
Most interesting Korean says, "What is the worst thing someone has caught you doing?"
I'm not going to admit it on the podcast.
What was it? Say one more time.
What's the worst thing someone has caught you doing?
So I don't know if it's the worst
I don't
thing,
get
but
caught.
it was pretty embarrassing. You know, like I guess I'm gonna low hanging fruit this one. I don't know if I want to like get this out on the internet, but you know, I was at a grocery store and I was grocery shopping and you know, grabbing. This is pretty lame. Never mind. Piece of fruit falls on the ground. I just pick it up and put
So
it back.
low hanging fruit.
It's low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Interesting. The most embarrassing thing. It was embarrassing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah,
worst,
I mean,
worst
The
thing.
worst
Worst.
thing, I think, was the,
Yeah.
yeah.
People saw me in a music video for Shake It Fancy.
Those good times.
But did that happen organically? Like somebody found that and then like just brought it to your
Yes.
chat or something?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I went through a time where I was like, maybe I should pull the video. And then at that point it had gotten out too much. And I was like, well, maybe we should just we should lean into it at this point instead of trying to
I
like
think that
cover
was
it
a
up.
good decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, no one watched it, you know, after the charity marathon for sure.
No.
No one. Nope.
Not a single one.
I mean, I've told this story before about, I think I've told it on this podcast. I'll tell it briefly again. Is one time I was coming inside from walking the dogs and I was wearing Crocs and it had been raining outside. And
So you were wearing Crocs. That was the embarrassing thing?
That's the thing.
I'm wearing Crocs right now. As I stepped onto the tile floor in the kitchen, my foot slipped out from beneath me, and I was trying to like, like catch my footing, and my pants fell down around my ankles because I wasn't wearing a belt, and that basically took away my ability to move my feet. So I just fell flat on my face,
With
and
your
everybody
pants
heard
around
me
your ankles.
fall down, and they came into the kitchen and saw me with my pants around the ankles, laying on the kitchen floor.
With Crocs on.
With Crocs
Obviously,
on.
obviously you were drunk.
That's
Oh,
I was
man.
stone cold sober.
An inebriated Briar pantsed wearing Crocs on the floor of the kitchen.
hilarious.
It's good.
That was a
It's
low
quite the
point.
image. Yep.
Protheon
That's your calendar
says,
pose.
That's my calendar pose. Protheon says you get $1 million, but for 5 years, every room you walk into, all the lights in that room will turn off. Will you take the money?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I mean, I can just turn on the lights again, right? They turn off when I walk
Yeah,
in,
you
but
can just flip them
I
on.
just turn the lights back
Yeah.
on, and I'm still $5 million richer. Hell yeah!
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Once again, a Twitter question that leaves too many gaps.
I don't think so. I think this was cut and
Yeah,
dry.
the lights turn off, just
But
turn them back
you're-
on.
Can you turn
You're
the lights on
finding
again?
it. The spirit of the question does not imply that you can turn the lights back on. Sorry.
No,
It doesn't
no, no.
say that you can't. I mean, the
You are
Once again,
straight up
technicalities.
It says specifically TVs don't count as lights, so I can just have like multiple TVs in every room and be good to go. Like it's lit.
That'd be weird for a year, but you are right.
It's lit.
It's actually lit.
I think
Literally,
I think
lit.
you're using a 10-year-old's like lawyer mind to dissect this question.
Well, tell the people
What kind of
asking the
question is that?
questions.
That doesn't
make
need-
it more airtight. Like, come on.
I'm down.
Ironclad.
I just think that our chat, people, the listeners could do better. They don't let Briar have these kind of questions because he just destroys them with his
With his
This
shortcuts.
is cut and dry. Like you have a mild inconvenience that you got to deal with for 5 years to make $1 million. Yeah, it'd be a pain in the ass.
Wait,
And
5
every time I
years?
walk in the room, it doesn't matter if I'm carrying nachos in one hand and my drink in the other. When I figure out how to elbow that fucking light switch on every goddamn time for 5 years, mild inconvenience, but worth.
It's
for
also a party
$1 million.
trick. It's a party trick.
Right?
Every
I
time
think
you
I can
walk
make another
in,
$1 million just based on.
look
watching
who
what I
showed
do.
up. The lights turned off.
Right? Every time I
That would
walk
get
into a
old for
bar, the
other
lights
people
turn off.
really quick.
That'd be great. I'd run in and out of rooms all the time. Be like, didn't need anything. Just want to turn off the lights. Later.
The power
Damn
off?
it,
No, the fucking
Briar.
TV's on.
Get out of here, Dad.
Man, this sounds great.
I can't see.
Yeah, that's the easy one. Oh my god, when I first got an Apple TV and my kids were watching it and I realized that I could control it with my phone from the other room, that was amazing. That was a good moment.
That's
Why
just
does it keep
evil, though.
stopping?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, good
Broken.
kid.
Take it back.
Oh.
Zachary Richard says, "Hello everyone. What's your favorite dish that your mother makes for you? Love the podcast."
Favorite dish that your mother makes for you?
Yeah, my mom wasn't really big into cooking, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I have that same issue.
Yeah.
I honestly thought I just didn't like chicken because every time I'd ever put it in my mouth, it was dry and heinous. It was until I was in my 20s that I realized it didn't have to be like that.
There's two dishes that I think of the most when I think about my mom. One is every Christmas we'd get together and make tamales. So
Sounds delicious.
love tamales. My mom made makes a chicken with green chili tamale that's wonderful, and then a pineapple and it's a dolce, like a sweet one. So those, and then the second is enchiladas. So green chili enchiladas. Two dishes that my mom makes that I just every time I go home I want to have them.
I think for me, it's my dad is a pretty good cook, and he makes really, really, really good chili. Really good chili.
That's a good skill to have.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's probably
That's great.
that.
What kind of chili? Where is it from? Like what region?
Oh God, I don't know. It's just generic like white people chili, but
Well, I mean, my wife is from Cincinnati, and they take chili
Oh.
very seriously there. And so she made
Mhm.
me some of her. It's like a 5-way, like the over pasta, the chili,
Okay.
with cheese and onions, and like
yeah.
she made it from scratch using her mom's recipe. And my God,
Nice.
I've never
Yeah.
had chili until I've had like
Like that
people
chili.
who take it seriously. Like you can't just buy it out of a can. Like that's
Mhm.
crap. If you make it from scratch, I mean, chili blows your mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I never had
delicious.
it like over pasta, and then having it a 5-way, whew, so good.
Yeah, I've never heard of pasta chili before. That's interesting.
Oh, you haven't? Oh no,
No.
definitely put it over pasta with like spaghetti with cheese and onions and sour cream, and just it's
Yeah.
so good. It's also served over potato, but they traditionally serve it over pasta.
Sounds delicious.
It's really good.
I'm gonna change mine real quick just because I realize my mother-in-law is a fantastic cook, and it would be tough to pick one of them, but like she makes fantastic spare rib adobo, Filipino spare rib adobo, and
Oh
yeah,
the little clay pots. Is it the spice?
yeah, like dude,
Yeah,
spice.
that was
Okay,
that
okay, okay.
spice.
yeah,
Mhm.
like spare rib adobo is just delicious. Love it.
I got a dish that I associate with my childhood that my mother used to make and my grandfather also used to make it. Both sides of the family, both my grandfathers used to make it. It's ultra basic though. It's literally just like B&M beans with cut up hot dogs mixed in. But it's like it's such like a comfort food that like brings me back to like warm feelings of childhood that I enjoy the shit out of it. Even though it's a complete basic food.
That's valid.
Cell SSX is the last question for Cell SSX says you've just met your co-hosts for the first time and you don't know their names, right? So imagine you're meeting everybody in this chat for the first time, but you don't know anybody's name. Give each person a name that you think fits. So for instance, like you might look at Pope and say, that guy looks like an Edgar. You know, like you know what I mean?
I can't.
Like a first name?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I think let me start it off. Briar, when I look at you, I see you're Richard.
Okay.
Because
Dick. I got it.
yeah, that's what I would say.
See, for Pope, I was thinking like a Buck or a Ron.
Ron.
Yeah, it was mainly the mustache, I think.
The
you know?
mustache.
Ron.
Yeah.
I have like no. I don't want to insult anybody
Oh,
accidentally.
that's what this
Oh,
question
so
is
you're doing it
for.
wrong then.
Yeah, yeah. That's why you do this.
Oh,
I have no idea.
Tefty looks like he could be like like a boy named Sue, right? But his real name is Lucille.
Lucille.
You know?
Oh, I could see it.
Yeah,
I'd rock a
see it.
Lucille. No problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then but he's his dad named him it because he knew his life was going to be tough, and
Dude, I'd go
to get
around.
tough or die.
Yeah,
Gotta
I'd
get
go
tough.
around
Is
as
that the
Lucille.
song
No
goes?
problem.
Yeah.
oh man, you could do it.
I have no idea.
I was thinking
Names.
Larry for Tefty. Larry.
Yeah,
seems like a
Larry?
good one. Yeah.
I can't see that.
What would his
No.
middle name be? Because
No.
if he had a middle
Reginald.
name,
Reginald.
there I could see that.
Yeah,
Larry,
he'd go by
Larry
his
Reggie?
middle name. 'cause he
Reginald.
didn't like,
yeah,
he didn't like
he'd
his
go by
first-
Reggie. He'd go by
Yeah.
Reggie.
Yeah, Larry
What's your
Reggie.
name? My name's Larry Reginald. Like cute.
Yeah.
Reggie.
Hmm.
And only when his mom got mad would she call him Larry.
But it's
Larry?
actually Lawrence. It's actually Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Right, Lawrence Reginald.
Lawrence Reginald.
Yeah, this
Yes.
sounds pretty proper. Can I go back to Lucille?
He came
I
from
like
a
that
very
name.
He came from a very conservative family. Grew up where as a not a
giving
Quaker.
backstory?
What are the other ones? They don't believe in horse. They have horse-drawn carriages and the
Amish?
Amish. He grew up as Amish, right?
Lawrence Reginald is Amish.
Lawrence Reginald. Yeah, well, I don't know.
It's like-
Probably it is.
Ezekiel.
You were actually
Jedediah.
adopted by
Yeah,
the
it needs to be like
Don-
Ezekiel, exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta get like biblical.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. I tried.
Oh,
An
Mennonites.
attempt was made. It's okay.
Yeah, Mennonite. Yeah, Mennonite's the name right there.
Yeah.
Pope, you look like a Mennonite.
I could go Mennonite.
Somebody in chat said Pope looks like a Joe, and when you had like your little facial
Yeah.
hair thing going, I think that was very fitting for the name
Mhm.
Joe. Now I'm
Mhm.
not so sure what it would be, but
I don't know. I really like Buck with that. That was a.
Buck.
How about
My
Biff?
name is Buck, and I like to.
Drive truck. I like to drive trucks. That's ridiculous.
All right, I think that's it, Taft.
Really?
All right. So that's the podcast, guys. Thank you for watching. Actually, do we have some business to do before signing off, or is that it? I think we're good, right?
No, we got. I mean, just informing our audience that this Saturday at 1:00 will be our first
Second.
live show. Well, our second live show, but our first on our regular time slot
Right.
at 1 p.m. will be live for the Side Quest podcast.
Yes.
So join us.
What are we going to talk about?
Stuff and things.
Stuff
Stuff
and things.
Yep.
Weird.
So you can find me at Teft on Twitter if you want to talk to me on Twitter and stuff. My streams are at twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. And I have a YouTube channel that gets some attention every now and then. Also Tefty Teft.
You got a blog coming up.
Yeah,
Or a vlog.
actually a blog is coming out, or a vlog, because Memes is actually in the process of editing that right now. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I'll watch that.
Yeah. The GuardianCon vlog.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me on YouTube occasionally doing YouTube videos when the subscriber feed decides to send them out, which is rare. You can find me afternoons, weekdays, streaming over on Twitch. Just look for twitch.tv/Briar Rabbit, or you can talk to me on Twitter. Just look for @TheBriarRabbit.
Moon.
Oh, me next? Okay. You can find me, Moonvald, everywhere. I stream on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Friday. Twitch.tv/Moonvald, and on Twitter, just Moonvald. Behind your local McDonald's. Moonvald.
Awesome.
Is that you using the McDonald's Wi-Fi?
Written in Sharpie on every bathroom, McDonald's bathroom.
Yeah, awesome.
So this has been Pope Bear. You can find me on Twitter at Pope Bear. Also follow the podcast at DCP_live. We have great guests coming up next week. Ramshackle, and a week after that is Dot. And then we're going to round out. Then we're going to start into August with Dylan, one of our community managers, is going to come on the show. And then later in August, we're going to get just after the release of Forsaken, we're going to have the raid designers, the raid leads, on the show. So they're going to come in and talk about the raid and the design and breakdown of it. So we got a lot of stuff planned for the next couple months. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. That's at DCP_live. And I want to give a huge shout out to the patrons who support us and everybody who's a subscriber on Twitch. With those resources, we were able to secure a kick-ass booth at GuardianCon and provide over 40 different content creators a place to do meet and greets and feel a sense of home. So you can take ownership of that. It was with those donations that you guys give us that made that possible. And I can't thank you guys enough.
Awesome. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We will see you next week. I'm going to roll credits and then be back to read out some subs on the live action. So be right back, guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah, right. We're back.
16-bit, right?
Are we back?
We're back, man.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% positive.
I don't see it on. Okay, now I see it on the screen.
Stream delay.
Is it delayed?
Stream delay. I mean, there's a natural delay that kicks in. So, Phoenician 2007, 4 months, says, how salty can one Pope Bear be after losing to Shoddy Warrior Tefty? Long question mark exclamations. Also, getting
Pretty
hyped.
salty.
Pretty damn salty.
Pretty
There's
salty.
no level of salt there.
Pretty, Briar, you can confirm pretty salty?
It was real salt. Real, like,
Yeah.
this was the good sea salt, the expensive stuff that you buy at Whole Foods.
Pink Himalayan?
Yeah.
Yes, getting hyped for Forsaken, absolutely. Agreed. Master Phoenix, 87 with 4 months. Finny 644 with 4 months as well. Florida Gator 501, who it turns out is not an actual gator. IRL.
He's not.
Yeah,
Those
that
are real
was
people.
a
Those are real
shocking
people.
revelation.
Yeah, I was disappointed, man. Honestly, not an actual gator. 4 months says, keep being awesome. Thank you very much, Florida. Sparty for you with 4 months as well. And Tan Halen with the new sub. Sinji with some bits. Says, just evading my ban. Nope, still getting banned, Sinji. Sorry, man. Web setup with some biddies as well. Blue Eyes Hunter Dragon with 2 months says 2 months. Enjoying what you guys do. Thank you very much, Blue Eyes. Web setup with some more biddies. .cr with a new sub. Resef 8604 with 4 months says couldn't make GuardianCon this year. Hope I can make it next year. GuardianCon was just amazing in the fact that we got to hang out and talk to each other and like just be cool in one room, which like it's honestly that makes the experience 100% worth it. Yeah, we get to raise charity for an amazing cause. That's fantastic as well. But like selfishly, that was the reason for me to go because it was amazing getting to hang out. Biggins 1976 with gifting a sub to Randomizing. Ellen Ecke also gifting a sub to Wilson, which makes it 4 months. Sweet Dick Willie, super toxic in person. Cherry Papa 46 with 3 months. Smith 87 with 4 months. Ultima with 4 months as well. Which is better, pizza delivery or this sub sandwich? That is very dependent on the sub sandwich and also the delivery of the pizza. Lots of variables. You're going to have to come back with another one, Ultima on that one. We need to follow up. The Mohican 9 with 4 months as well. A C-Gen 72 with a new sub. Devil Dog 2998 with 2 months. Chaos Youngin 77 with a new sub. And Black Flag CTG with 4 months. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
That is very, very kind. Like I said, it was an honor being able to hang out at GuardianCon. Even though there was Swamp Ass.
Lots of swamp.
And no
so
food.
much swamp.
Yeah, no food and Swamp Ass.
And a theater the size of a Honda Civic.
Yeah, that was interesting as well. Yep.
So Harding just got raided by Tim.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, so we're gonna jump in there with him.
Awesome.
And so he went up to 11,000 people. So let's go in there and
That's
jump in
phenomenal.
Nice.
right.
Nighthawk Drew also dropping a sub. Thank you very much, Nighthawk. We will see you guys actually Saturday for DCP side quest. So
Oh, that's right. I was
yeah,
like, what are we doing on Saturday?
yeah.
Are we going back to GuardianCon? Woo!
Going back to Tampa. We're gonna pick up Holtz. He's still there.
there. He's still there. All right. See
Yep.
you later, guys.
Bye,
Thanks
guys.
so much.
Yep. Bye bye.